on top. I'm ready to go. Feeling like a million eyes on me. I'm unstoppable. top.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back once again to AMD Presents Sky Esports Grand Slam. Gaming partner Logitech G and broadcasting partner Loco. Well, this is me, Darshita, and alongside this is going to be my amazing co-caster Sam. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Darshita. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm looking forward to the day two action because, as you said, this is the grand finals. 7 long days that these teams are going to be battling it out. Day one just concluded yesterday, but day two is about to start. We are going to be seeing the matches again, 6 different maps that these teams will be playing. Not a lot of changes in the first phase here, Darshita, but the second phase, there's going to be a lot of changes in terms of the maps and the pace that will be coming through because there's one twister of a map that is going to be Sanok, where a doctor can be played, or also a team which is playing really well and stands as a four-man squad has the highest probability of winning it, but it all today will be matching in terms of the overall standing. Celsius, yes, is still standing strong, but it all matters of how the teams turn the tide today. But still, it'll not be the day of comebacks because the champ teams who have joined us in the I'm sorry, the grand finals, the invited 6 teams, I think they will be the ones starting it off today.
They will be the ones starting off today, but what matters is who will be ending it.
Oh, yes.
After everything done and dusted, the last point, the last thing that matters the most here is where you are on the leaderboards. Either you are on the first side, either you are in the midway, or you are just lagging behind somewhere. So that is something that these players do, just need to have their eyes on, right?
Exactly. I mean, day two, everybody will be looking forward to how it's going to be ending because the point difference is also going to be a huge factor in deciding how day three will be panning out. If the day two overall standings is going to be huge compared to where the first position team stands and the last position 16 team stands, it's going to be a little bit of a disheartening situation for the team at the last position. But if they're able to cope up with points, I'm not saying just jump up the table, but if they're able to stand there footing, it might be a better day three. But talking about why these teams are fighting it out, it's going to be the total and the big prize pool of 15 lakhs that these teams will be getting. But it's all about what the champions will be walking away with the spoils. It's going to be 8 lakhs, a trophy, as well as the bragging rights of the season 2 winners.
The second position here also gets a prize pool of 3 lakhs. The third position, 1 lakh 50,000. The fourth, 50,000. Fifth and sixth position, well, we got 25,000 for you. But we do have one individual prize. That is going to be the MVP of the tournament. That's a huge prize pool of 1 lakh rupees. But what does the most aggressive team gets here, Sam?
I'm looking forward to what that team will be getting. It is going to be the most finishes the team gets is going to be getting 50,000 rupees. I mean, it's going to be a small amount compared to the MVP of the tournament, but you need to understand the team coming in together, getting the MVP of the tournament as well as the team with most finishes, two different prizes going just to one team along with the champions title. That just boosts their total prize money to 9 lakh 50,000. And as we were saying, right, the 8 lakh amount is itself more than 50% of the total prize pool, and this will give them a boost to close to 60 to 70% of the prize pool. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't walk away with more and more spoils, right? We keep talking about if we get a chance of maybe walking as champions, getting a part of the prize pool, we might actually disappear, but teams might actually end up disappearing because of the point system that is right in front of us. And as usual, there's no changes. It's going to be the same thing that you've been seeing from the qualifiers. I mean, teams have been seeing, but right as of you guys, as viewers, have been watching us from quarterfinals until the grand finals. There's no changes. The winners will be getting 15 points as a part of the winner winner chicken dinner.
Alongside that 15 points, a delicious chicken dinner. Oh my god. On the second position, you get 12 points for yourself. The third position, 10 points. This is something that you need to look forward to But then on the fourth and the fifth position, you get 8 and 6 points for yourself. After that, the points do decrease to 4 and 2. But if you are standing from somewhere like 8 to 20, you just get 1 point from 8 to 12th, or 0 points for 13 to 20. And all that matters is the number of finishes that you take. That is one finish equal to one finish point that you gather for yourself.
Yes, the finish points is something all these 16 teams, these grand finalists are looking forward to. I mean, yesterday we did see, we will be again discussing before we head over to the first map of Erangel, the points table, the overall standings, where we will see some teams performing, I mean, out of their wits, giving it their all, getting most number of finishes compared to their placement points. So today they should pay attention to how they'll be getting the placement points. But talking about the grand finals, as I was saying, it's going to be Celsius Esports, Team Mayavi, Team Entity, Team EXO, 8-Bit, Team Orangutan, Soul, Godlike, Team Nugget, Skylightz Gaming, Enigma Gaming, Team Forever, Chemin Esports, Team 7C, Velocity Gaming, and TSM. These 16 teams, they are fighting with grit and determination from day one. But as I said, I'm looking forward to what the champs will be doing here on day two, because yes, they had a little bit of a jittery and a stuttery start on day one, because again, as I said, right, they've never played any matches even in quarters or semis. They were the on direct invited teams to the grand finals. It does not happen in any of the tournaments. You only see invited teams here, Darshita, in the semi-finals, but after that everybody fights and then qualifies into the grand finals and becomes the 16 or 18 teams fighting it out for the prize pool. But here, 6 teams meeting with the 10 qualified teams, the battle is going to be completely intense and heated up.
It is right. The first day was such a amazing, amazing show. On the second sides, if I say somewhere, I do feel like I have my eyes on these qualified teams right now. What I mean to say by this is we have seen them fighting, not just in the grand finals or in the semi-finals, but we do have one team who has made a long journey. They weren't invited. They performed. They proved themselves, and right now in the grand finals, we can see a one hell of a show from their sides as well. So yes, this day is going to be amazing. And coming to this day looks more amazing with the map schedule that we have set on our screens. Erangel, Miramar repeating itself twice. Then a doctor that just Sam said a while ago to be played in the map of Senok, and then once again back to the classic map of Erangel.
I'm looking forward to how today's schedule is going to be panning out. Yes, as you said, no changes. We'll be seeing the Doctor. I'm looking forward to that change in the second phase that's going to be happening. And especially the second phase is going to be the most crucial one. In the first one, you can see two Erangel maps. So teams, whoever have difficulty in the first Erangel map, can be sure that they'll be able to play the next one and maybe play a little bit better and maybe even get a winner chicken dinner. Who knows? The part and parcel of the game is making it happen. But right as now, the team which is running away with points is going to be Celsius. Yes, the amount of points that they had from the third match to the sixth match, the difference that was there from 30 to 20 has been decreased from teams. Team EXO has also had a jump along with the side of Team Forever. So today will be a lot of these teams performing and getting more points on board. But Celsius started it off as we saw the schedule. It started off and it will start off with the map of Erangel, and Celsius were the ones to get the first winner chicken dinner of the grand finals of day one. So today they have another opportunity. Yesterday to end it with their angle, they did try, but teams did put a stop to them. Talking about the second place teams, as I said, it is going to be EXO. They've closed in the difference and made it to only 22 points right as of now. Team Nugget right behind them, trailing and looking forward to getting a lot more points. They will be having still a little bit of a 10 to 15 point difference, but fourth team is going to be the side of Skylightz Gaming with 50 points and 2 point difference. Fifth position for Orangutan with 50 as well. So somewhere these three teams along with 8-Bit are clashing in and making sure they have same number of points. But Darshita, here is where the difference starts forming in. From the 7 to the next page is where teams will be not missing up a lot of points, but you can see 2 points is going to be the difference from 8-Bit. Then you can see Team Forever also having 2 point difference from the side of 7C Esports.
At this point of time, even one single point difference can cause you a lot of problem. I mean, we see a difference of 2 points here, but we know right how important one single point can be. Talking
Exactly.
about the total of all these teams, well, yes, there is a difference. But even if you talk about one single individual team, I do see a difference between the finishes and the position points. We talk about balancing, we talk about consistency. Well, balancing of your finishes and position points is something that you need to be really careful about. Look at Orangutan, 25 for finishes, 25 for position. Yes, they are on the fifth position, but they are maintaining the balance between both of them, and this balance is really needed, right?
Exactly, it's very much needed, Darshita. It's not going to be easy balancing both your placement and finishes, but I think the start of grand final somewhere will slow down in terms of the balancing game, but will be focused either on only placements or the side of finish points. But yesterday, how the side of Celsius played were completely a smart game, but we did also discuss when did also join us in the last part of the match, where we were saying that teams will eventually read them. And I also had a discussion with our Hindi desk casters who also said that teams which are playing so smart right as now might have a difficulty as we progress through the entire grand finals, because if that strategy is repeated day 3, day 4, day 5, it becomes an easy target to put a stop to you. But let's see, and as we see the overall standings of the second page, Enigma trailing right behind, but the difference is there. 46 was the eighth position team, and ninth position team is going to be at 43 with 3 points in difference. Along with them tying it up is going to be the side of Chemin. Entity with a 2 point difference at 41 in the 11th position. Soul at the 12th position, and now here is where the difference starts striking, and it's getting a little bit bigger, but still not something that will create a little bit of a worry. Soul with total of 34 points. 13th position for the side of TSM with 33, just 1 point different. God, like initially the first start of the map of Wrangle was outright phenomenal. The finishes that they were walking up with, it looked like they would have actually got the winner chicken dinner to start the day off. But the last rush, the last lemon that they wanted to do did not work in their favor. Followed by the next two team is going to be the side of team Mayavi and Velocity. But on your screens, right, as one of the MVP that we'll be looking forward to, they are here, the top five fraggers.
Top 5 fraggers with equal finishes. Look at
All
that,
of
10
them.
finishes for each one. These top 5 players have proved themselves really, really tough to compete. I mean, look at this. Delta PG, Anuj 2OP, Punk, Sarang, and Dreams. Look at the number of finishes. They are 10 for each. But what different right now is the finish contribution that they have provided. I mean, 41.67% is what Delta PG has given. For Anuj, it is the same. But when you talk about Exopunk, it's 34.48%. On the other hand, Sarang and Celsius Dreams there have contributed a percentage of 33.33% to the overall team finishes. But after all this discussion being done, today's day can change a lot of things.
It can, Darshita. You can see the contribution right as now. Everybody is uplifting their team, making sure that they might walk away with the points for themselves, or they might be able to just help the team. But you saw the contribution coming from the first two players in the top 5 fraggers list compared to the next three. They had a difference of close to 10%, so that tells you that the first two players were playing as a team. The other three players that we are seeing, yes, they are playing with the team, but their team is also losing players, because of which they eventually end up being the sole survivors. And after that, they're performing with all the wit and the grit that they have, and looking forward to giving it their all. But you understand that the contribution for the team ends up getting lesser when you do not have teammates to play with. So today's objective for teams as well as players should be making sure their co-counterparts are alive for the entire map duration, and if they're not, trying to help them at least to survive for the longest, because at the end of the day, this is going to be a battleground, this is going to be a game. You have to finish one person, you have to get the point from him, and you have to get to a better position so that you get both finishes as well as placement points. It's not that easy. That's the reason you will also end up with casualties, but how to counter it is going to be your main question, and how to deal with it is what teams will be looking forward to. But the start of map of Wrangle is going to be very crucial. As we said, day one commences based on how Wrangle plays out, and day two will also be the same. The starting of the day will be like the fuel for all the teams. But Darshita, if I ask you, do you think the teams, because Any team that has played the map of Erangel, immediately when we switch over to Miramar, they do not have the same kind of, I would say, aggression that they're able to deal with. I mean, in the sense that their aggression is there, but they get finished off because they think that Erangel is very similar to Miramar. Let's again get another winner chicken dinner. They get finished off. So, do you think that some teams will take Erangel lightly and try to perform Miramar a little bit better?
I do not feel like any team will take any map lightly right now.
True.
I mean, look at this. You got chances, I do agree, but most of the percentage right now is covered by Erangel and Miramar. Taking either Erangel or Miramar lightly is not something that would definitely help you climb up the stairs. It will just eventually push you down and down, and that is not something that you need to do. I mean, so much so been done in the first day itself. We saw the sides of Team Celsius getting two victories on the map of Erangel itself. This showcase how the sides of Team Celsius is really looking strong on this map of Erangel. But once again, after this break, after the short spam of the time that these teams got, they did their homework, right?
Yep.
They just sat, they just had a word, they did everything that they wanted to, and right now on this beginning of this new day, there can be some different.
Exactly. It's the start of a new day, as you said. It's a hope for a couple of these teams, especially for those teams which are right now at the bottom, and especially I would say the bottom four. Their overall points is not looking great. They might be in double digits. I mean, if they weren't in double digits at the end of day one, also, it might strike fear not in, I would say, their own uh, teammates or players' heart, but as in general, it would have actually striked fear for the teams which are right next to each other, like, oh wait, we do not have single double digits. Our opponent, the next position, also does not have double digits. So right as now, we are becoming contenders to each other, and there might be like we have to deny points for them, they have to deny points for us. There might be so many things that they might be thinking, and eventually, that so many thoughts will just be jumbled up together and none of it yielding result. So your only intention needs to be a clear cut straight path. Play, find for finishes, look forward to how many people you can eliminate, and after eliminating, play for placement points. Because yesterday when the side of Orangutan also came down for the interview, that's what they mentioned, that they do not put a lot of thought into whether they should do that, do this, and so many things. There are various possibilities, but their main intention is to get finishes, get to placement points, make sure their gun game is on point. Because anything else in terms of how their rotation should be, whose fight that they should be picking, is going to be all called from the coaches and the analysts. They'll be letting them know this needs to be your drop spot. This is the kind of loot that you need to look forward to, and this is the kind of rotation you need to make. So majority of that overthinking part and finding the best possibility will be done from the coaches as well as the analysts. But the teams who are looking forward to playing it out, should their only clear cut goal, it needs to be on the finishes. But yes, I've done so much talking right as of now here, Darshita, but I do not want to let our viewers walk away without any kind of action. So we'll be heading very soon. That's the reason you have to start hitting the like and subscribe button, because there is a lot more days pending for this grand finals.
Do make sure that you download Loco as well. We
Hmm.
will be switching to Loco at any moment after the third match. And Sam, will you ever wish to miss these actions? I mean, they are just so amazing. Everything, the battleground is just so intense. And with each passing match, the intensity level is just going on increasing and increasing. So make sure you guys go to the Play Store, download Loco, and just switch to Loco as soon as we do. But after all these being said and done, the only question that I right now have in my mind is will the very first fly path favor these players?
Yesterday we saw two maps of Wrangle. I mean, I would even say go far and say that three maps of Wrangle that we saw had close to being similar flight paths, out of which two of them were capitalized from the side of Team Celsius, and you can see standing tall on the leaderboards on the overall standings. Today, the start needs to be kind of similar is what I'm hoping for the side of Celsius, because that's one team that I'm looking forward to, who have been playing brilliantly. But Nugget also, they have been the steady climbers. They have paid attention to what they need to do. They are right now in the third position. They were already in the second position, yes, after a brilliant performance from EXO. They have gone down a spot, but I guess Nugget will not give up. And you saw yesterday the performance coming in from Nugget, irrespective whether they lost the player or not, they were always guns blazing and had their weapons out to every fight that any team or player wanted to pick up.
I do agree with that completely. Right now, each and everyone is just looking forward to as many finishes as they can. But, well, there you go. The player cams are all set onto your screens. Celsius Esports, well, the map of Erangel is something that they are, really excited about. And I do feel like, yes, this map, this team too has a potential of just shining real bright on this map, but the homework has been done, as said a while ago, so maybe we can see something different happening.
There might be something different happening, as you said, Darshita, but again, Erangel is going to be a classic map. Expecting something different in terms of maybe the fights is something I'm not too sure about, but I'm pretty sure in terms of rotation, a lot of these teams might pull off something new, and expecting something new out of the flight path and the circle is going to be what I'll be paying more attention to, because that will commend the whole game. But again, a little bit, if you pay attention to how the entire flight path is panning out to be from yesterday till today, it's taking a diagonal shift towards the northwestern side slowly, but it is still similar to what we saw from the southern to the eastern, I would say northeastern edge is where we are seeing the flight path. It will be crossing over military base and heading over and ending up at Stalberg. But here is where there's going to be an interesting part that I'm wishing from yesterday. The side of Chemin as well as the side of Velocity, both of them are taking the drop at military base, and both of them are not fighting it out there.
Initial fights, a very interesting thing, but at the same time, I do feel like these players have are just into so much of stress when you get into an initial fight. Right now, yes, there is going to be a fight in the areas of military base, and we are pretty excited to know. But look at the play zone. The play zone right now is denying each and everything. What happened the previous day, well, no, it will be denied, and the play zone right now will be taking a complete upper side shift towards the areas of Sivani, Georgipool Hospital, and Rozok.
Exactly, it's going to be a shift for an interesting fight in Erangel. But right as now, any drop clashes is what I'm wishing for. Again, as I said, Kemin and Velocity always dropping here at military base, but this time both of them want to fight it out. Kemin is holding it out for a mistake being done from the side of Velocity. Velocity wants them to make a mistake, but Slayer, he wants to initiate the mistakes coming through. He throws a
Oh!
brilliant grenade and it immediately connects to Destro, and now it should be the end of Destro as well. Another grenade to follow it up and confirm, but Destro, I'm pretty sure, is crawling away. He gets a little bit of a damage. The pixels were spotted from Slayer, but immediately Destro was able to move out. But Destro, he's all alone. I don't think this revive will be coming through from the side of Kemin to help Destro back and pick up this fight.
I do believe the same. On the other side, 420 OP is spotted into a complete open area and right now is down to the ground. A really good start that Team Velocity needed for themselves, and right now they are looking good. But on the other hand, when you talk about Delta PG, he is holding a real good position. The height advantage is something that really can work into his favor, but Kratos, there you go. His position is really looking good. Delta PG manages to survive on that one magical HP, but right now, look at Kratos. He is not stopping and he'll be making sure to utilize the great angle he has.
Let's see how it's going to be working out. Kratos got spotted, dropped to half of his health. Will be patching himself up, but he does not have anything to play with. Slayer finally gets the confirmation. So it's going to be two finishes for the side of Velocity. A really good start. This did happen on the map of Miramar as well for them. But now look at Delta PG. I think he does not have any med kits or maybe even bandages, because he jumped, and as I said, he's on top, and I don't think he'll be having anything to move. Even the slightest edge that Kratos spots is going to be the end of Delta PG. He does have another player rooting for him, making sure he survives until Papa Manenge. If he gets eliminated, then that should be the end of Delta PG as well from the side of Kim, and he would give up, because there is no way that he can actually move out. But in the meantime, there's going to be another fight that we are also looking forward to. But as I said, Delta PG gets knocked from Daljit. I thought it might be Kratos, but Daljit finally finds him out. But this is the fight that I'm also looking forward to. That's between the side of Skylightz and Enigma here, Darshita.
So many multiple fights happening at the initial stages itself. There you go, Papa Manenge. Papa Nahi Manenge, okay, that's a pretty interesting name, but right now he has been caught into a real difficult situation. Down to the ground, will be eliminated completely, and that's done and dusted for the sides of Team Chemin Esports, being the very first team to get eliminated with zero finishes. Not really a good start, I would say, but on the other hand, focusing on one more fight that's between Skylightz Gaming and Team Enigma, where Italy is down to the ground. He's been revived back by his teammate. Well, yes, the revival is successful, but now Team Skylightz Gaming is all set to go real aggressive on the enemies, and at any moment, Saggy once again can depart. But this grenade can turn the tables around if it is real pinpoint precise. But there you go. Okay, that was half damage being done by grenade and half by the sides of Team Enigma Avi. Finally, Pokar is down to the ground, and it's a 4v3 situation left.
I want to see how it's going to be working out. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but Enigma need to understand that as soon as they actually lose anybody here, Darshita, they start falling apart. I did mention that their performance yesterday after a single player being knocked and finished completely took a downfall. It went tumbling downhill. So I'm looking forward to how they convert it today. They've already taken down a player from the side of Team Skylights, and now they've already gotten a knock. They're still pushing forward. The Slammin is not exactly one because they're already in close quarter compound, so they will be looking forward to finding an opening. Saggy leading the charge, heading up right front. The player knocked will be only able to give information. Somraj spots the players coming up, and it's going to be the pre-fire that's going to be working out. It was just way too predictable, and it's going to be the end of Somraj. But new player, he's waiting for the opportunity, but there's just too many players rattling and running around in that first floor, and it's making life difficult. Another confirmation who was already knocked. Three finishes out. The last surviving player, is he going to give away his position or is he going to be running away, is going to be the question. But the smoke, I guess, has given away his position. He jumped down, I think, but new player, he's moved a little left and he's actually running away, Darshita.
Running away is the only option he got right now to survive, and there you go, he got that buggy to work around with. He is just looking forward to move as far as possible, and there you go, he got an opportunity to do that by jumping down that window, and luckily he found a buggy for himself, and that was one last player. Right now the only aim that he has is to survive as much as he can. On the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team Soul. Right now they are looking good, but a big split is what I can look forward to. Well, there you go, one more fight that's going to be Entity Dark Lord down to the ground, and somewhere it's going to be Team Mayavi getting into a fight. A really interesting fight happening. I mean, not just an interesting one, but really so many initial clashes is what I mean to say by this.
Exactly, I'm looking forward to this. So many drop clashes already happening, and it's just 7 minutes of the game of Erangel, and all these teams are looking forward to getting it back in the groove. They won these early frags and finishes in their favor, but I think Team Mayavi have the control. Team Mayavi have the aggression to finish off the side of Entity. They've taken a player down already. So, as a three-man squad, as a three-player squad, the casualty is there, the difficulty is there, but they're stacked in a single building. So, Team Mayavi needs to pay attention and needs to play smart. If they rush in together one after another, there might be trades coming across, and if they do have an M249, they're going to be looking forward to rattling those bullets and making sure they maybe even spray down the entire team of Mayavi.
Well, that can be the case, but right now, all they are trying to do is put players down with that grenade. The position Manya is holding down back there can be really good, but once again, there are three players front, and if by any case one player is down to the ground, Manya has to move from there, and that is something, Sam, that they really need to look forward to. Right now, look at Joker. He is having a UMP to work around with, and he is just waiting down patiently. It's just both of the teams waiting for the enemy to make a mistake, and they themselves not going and trying to build any kind of mistake. Edmino, he will be trying to jump as high as he can, but no, Edmino, he won't be getting any kind of connection. Once again, one more Molotov connections coming from the sides of Edmino, but okay, I guess he was not sure for the position that the enemies are holding, and he will be cancelling. What do you think, Sam? What is going to happen? Right now, both of them are just waiting for an enemy's mistake.
Exactly, right? They know that both of them have the opportunity to close it. Yes, with a I was sorry, a single man disadvantage, a casualty, there is a probability which will be close to 70% of winning the fight, but they need to be smart about it. Use their resources, use the utilities, and make that disadvantage even worse for the side of Entity, and that's what they're waiting for. But Manya, I guess he got spotted, received a lot from the damage coming in, but the amount of time that they're wasting might be the oncoming slaughter from the side of Team God. Like they have spotted here Always Bolte. My bad. It looked like it was the similar blue color, but it was Always Bolte from the side of Team Forever. Immediate knock and finish should be a follow up here. And yes, it is going to be Clutch God making his appearance today. Will be getting that first finish for the side of Team Godlike.
Team Godlike got one for themselves, and right now they are looking forward to more. On the other hand, you see the sides of Team Mayavi and Entity getting into a fight. That's two fights at the second two screens that we are witnessing. I mean, so much is happening, right? So much is happening. On the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team Godlike. Right now, yes, they got one for themselves, but they are looking forward to hold a great position in the play zones, as that is going to be the most important part. But right now, Team Mayavi and Team Entity is completely at a piece. I mean, I don't understand for a fact that these players are, I guess, out of the zone. Somewhere zone can cause a problem or may not, but a third party is something that is going to get both of them into a difficult spot. And there you go, the sides of Team TSM, if I am not wrong, is being seen somewhere nearby, and right now this fight is going to be real interesting.
It is really interesting because Noob found a knock on the player of Team Mayavi, and a rush
Oh,
comes in. It is going to be a trade from Troy. So somewhere down the line, the situation right as now is going to be a 2v2. The damage has been done from Troy on Manya. Manya immediately backing off because he knows that this 2v2 situation might yield up in a casualty. The jump also made it
oh,
worse for the side of Team Mayavi. The last two surviving players, they gave an immediate revive, because of which it became a 3v2 situation. But right as now, as you said, it's going to be a third party also coming through from the side of TSM. They're looking forward to close in from four different corners, and it's going to make life difficult for both these teams. At the end of the day, I think both Entity and Team Mayavi in this Erangel map will be finished off, and TSM will be the one reaping the benefits, getting those finishes, but it's playing a little bit slow. Manya with the grenade gets a knock on Aquanox. That was a really good one to at least slow down the fight. Entity in between all these chaos, they got the player who was knocked, got him back to his feet. So it's a 3v3 situation compared to Entity as well as the side of Team Mayavi. But TSM, they have understood that this might become a casualty for them as well. They slow down their game, and it has already become a casualty. I missed the chance of spotting that finish. So right as of now, it's going to be a 3v3v fight here, Darshita. I thought this third party will work for the side of TSM, but TSM also made a mistake, and now they have to fight with a three-man squad.
each and every team has just three players surviving. What is going to happen? Well, we as a
This is
casters
not
don't
even
know.
the last circle.
Exactly, yes, that's the whole point, right? It's just like 12 minutes mark that we have passed, and just so much is happening all around. TSM, they decided to go in for a third party, but somewhere after they lost Aquanox there, they are just waiting. They won't make any kind of mistake once again, but the zone is something that can eventually force them to make a mistake. With the shrink of the next zone, teams that are out of the play zone needs to rush to the play zone. Down there, the teams like VLT got a great opportunity, and I guess that's going to be one more party there. I mean, yes
Yes.
or yes, that is going to be one more party. Team Velocity at any moment can go ham to that fight, but on the other hand, we do have one more fight that's going to be between the sides of Team 8-Bit and Team Soul starting any moment.
Starting any moment right as now. I'm looking forward to it, how it's going to be panning out. But as you said, not only the side of Velocity will enter, it will be the side of Enigma, but the fight has started panning out in the favor of Soul. They have knocked 8-bit Tsunami. Blaze OP gets an immediate knock and a finish. Yes, it is going to be. And the side of Velocity, as we said, will be having the upper hand, and they are making it work. But look at the side of Soul as well. They're looking forward to the rush. They might be able to get a couple of finishes. TSM looking forward to go into a compound and play a little bit safe. But do they have the information? The IGL
No, they
of the
don't.
side of EXO has already made his way into the compound, but right as now, look at this dash in coming in from the side of Soul. They're doing the damage. Madman, he's about to lose a lot of his health, but Goblin, he's looking forward to clutch this. He's already downed player 3, and right as now, Goblin, the last surviving player for the side
Oh,
of Soul, he gets it, but the two players surviving, Madman and Raid, were the distractions that was enough to get 8-bit back in the going.
the rush from the sides of Team Soul eventually did work into their favor, and that's gonna be Team Soul getting eliminated. But Shadow going down to the ground because of the grenade that Fierce cooked. Well, Shadow will be confirmed, and now Team TSM is done and dusted. Sensei with a beautiful grenade end things here, and here with that, Team EXO secures 2 finishes for themselves. Team TSM getting eliminated. That's 3 team getting eliminated in just 14 minutes span. I mean, what is happening? This is the real, this is what is the reason of a break that the teams eventually do need. On the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team GodL. Right now, they do have their eyes on the sides of Team Nugget. They are just waiting for information. They are just waiting for some opening onto their sides. But at the other sides, we do have the sides of Team 7C and Celsius fighting it out.
I'm looking forward to what is going to be happening at school. Who's going to be teaching whom a lesson here? Is going to be the side of Celsius, making sure they stay on top. They are playing still smart. You've seen the entire 3 teams that got eliminated. They did pick up fights with various different teams. But Celsius always being smart. My bad, my bad. Even I got surprised a little bit because the circle was completely northern end. I started seeing SC, so I thought it was school, and now we can see in the map it's Severny, not school, and that's where Celsius and the side of 7C are waiting it out. But the circle is going to be about to be closed into a different position, and it's going to be favoring the side of Team Forever as well as the side of 8-bit. 8-bit, after the fight with the side of Soul that they've had, they'll be more than happy with this circle coming to their end, because the northernmost part of it, none of the teams will have an easy way to enter. But look at Celsius immediately understanding the circle shift and immediately heading to the northernmost edge. But one grenade coming in from Manya gets 2 knocks. That is going to be finally a conclusion, maybe coming in from the side of Team Mayavi to end the side of Entity. And yes, it is going to be, they had a casualty, unfortunate for them. But after such a long fight, I guess close to 3 or 4 minutes, that single fight panned out, Darshita, and finally Team Mayavi will be finishing off the entire squad of Entity.
I guess more than 3 to 4 minutes is what that fights lasted. But on the other hand, GodL is getting themselves into a lot of difficulties. Gil will be finished. I'm not sure of how that happened, but Clutch God is eventually down to the ground, and right now they just have this deadly to move working. That's gonna be GodL Neo and Pushparaj OP. He is trying to just stay as much as he can on the vehicles lurking around, but I guess that's gonna be really difficult, and that is something I was speaking about. The artificial cover is not something working into his favor. He is down to the ground. On the other hand, you have Neo, the last surviving player from the sides of Team GodL, with a lot of responsibilities onto his shoulders. I mean, reviving his teammate back, clutching this fight out is so much to do. And look at Juicy. He is trying his level best to just confirm the down players. He won't be letting one single player go. But on the other hand, Team Nugget and Team 7C getting into a fight. Clutch God will be confirmed by Celsius Apollo. Team Nuggets. Nugget is down to the ground as 7C Sarang manages to take him down and finish him off completely there and there.
I'm unable to understand. This is just the 4th circle, and these teams are already eliminating teams one after another. It's just 17 minutes of the game. We generally see these kind of chaos and also the kill feed running away from us in terms of information after the 5th circle coming through. But every team, they've understood what is at stakes. Day 2 is going to be very crucial. But
Oh
a team grenade, a
no!
self grenade here coming in from the side of 7C from Sarang on Savitar. Unfortunate, Neo here does get a knock, and Sarang, after that self grenade on his own team, will be giving an easy finish, as Team Nugget will be confirming that from the side of Anuj to OP. Sarang will also get confirmed, and I guess the downfall of the side of 7C has also started happening. There's still 2 more players surviving, but in the meantime, Nexus from the side of Team Forever, he'll be spotting out a player from the side of Enigma. That's going to be Evo. Italy is already knocked. The confirmation is what they're looking forward to. Pushparaj also gets, I guess, confirmed. Anuj to OP making a run for the hills, making sure he wants to get back into the cover, because he took up a fight, finished off 2 players from the side of 7C, and 7C Prince, we all know he's not going to be happy because of that.
He is definitely not happy. On the other sides, you talk about the sides of Team EXO and 8-bit, right? Is just going so ham. He took 2 players down from the sides of Team EXO, and right now, Team EXO is not able to do anything. The only reason being that they are in a complete open area where vehicles is the only artificial cover they have to work around with. Yes, they do have some smokes to work around with, but what if those vehicles get exploded? What are you going to do next? So many questions, so many chaos happening all over. Punk will be going in for that revival, but I guess Raid is just trying his level best to take the sides of Team EXO down there and there. He is into the play zone, and that's something that is going to be a great advantage. On the other hand, Enigma we will be taking one from the sides of VLT. With that vehicle explosion coming, one more player will be going down to the ground, and this is definitely something I was talking about. Right now, Team 8-bit can go ham over their enemies, and at the same time, they can wait back and confirm the players as well.
Exactly, they can 8-bit after finishing off and getting the confidence. They are showing a new leaf, a new page, and they're not stopping. And as you said, the dip that the side of Team EXO had, it was unfortunate for them, stuck in that same position, irrespective of the number of smokes that they had. They couldn't move out of it, and eventually we might see the entire side of Team EXO falling apart. But this is where you can see, as you said, right? We even saw a player from the side of Velocity being knocked. Every time that we see the side of Velocity, especially in the last few rotations, they split apart, and when they split apart, they start having casualties. Otherwise, if they play together as a team, they have the highest probability of getting a winner-winner chicken dinner. Because of the distance right as now that Kratos has from his teammates, I think that should be an easy confirmation, or maybe a finished steal coming through from any other teams on Kratos, and they will be happy about it. But right as now, the last surviving player will be confirmed from Team Nugget itself. That is going to be Prince, and that is going to be the elimination of the side of 7C. And Team Nugget to a great start, but not the same that I could say for the side of 7C, because they just have two finishes to play with, and they got eliminated in 8th to 12th position, meaning they just get one placement point. But look at Celsius, a rush came in and he immediately does the damage and eliminates the side of Team Nugget. Team Nugget were looking so good. Why did they have to make such a huge move? Had seven finishes going in for them. They entered the compound where the side of Celsius were. Actually, I would say even tried to close in and compromise the side of Celsius. But Celsius always are ready for those kind of, I would say, risky fights and panic fights. And you saw them eliminating Nugget itself.
One small move can change or build things. It's just about how you manage to tackle it out. On the other sides, you talk about the sides of Team 8-bit. Right now, they have spectated the sides of Team Mayavi, and they are looking forward to take them down with some great amount of damage is dealt on Joker. Dark will be
Oh,
making sure to come forward, but no, that is a mistake. One player down to the ground, other can be down at any moment round. Team Mayavi, who is looking good a while ago, right now is just falling down like dominoes. Team EXO on the other side, which was down a moment a while ago, is back to their life. So much is happening all over. 8-bit Madman down to the ground, just a infinite amount of trigger discipline is what he has. But with that Molotov, he will be relocating himself, and there you go, the Molotov has been connected on Believe goes down to the ground. Pechankon is down to the ground. Madman right now is just going mad over his enemies. Pechankon down to the ground. He will be making sure to confirm it,
oh,
but this is it. The wall of fire that just got created on himself, he was set on fire, and that's going to be done and dusted. On the other side, the sides of Team Orangutan is looking real good but real bad at the same time. Rai then Ash into a 1v1 situation. Rai manages to take him, but at the same time, Rai will be confirmed there and there.
wait, was it both the side of 8-bit as well as the side of
Yeah,
Orangutan
yeah.
simultaneously? Yes, yes, it is going to be. But I'm looking forward to who. We saw the side of Team Forever, we saw the side of Enigma, we saw the side of Team. Mayavi, three different teams picking up a fight. I mean, I wouldn't even say the side picking up a fight with the side of 8-bit. 8-bit had their eyes concentrated on the side of OG. They eliminated OG, but three different teams had their eyes concentrate on the side of 8-bit, and finally 8-bit got eliminated. Unfortunate for them, three different teams, and always we talk about it. The open fights are very interesting, and anything can happen. But right as now, this is where the placement points start increasing one after another depending on the position that you get eliminated, and Celsius on top of it trying to make it work. Max Kush with his grenade from the side of Forever will be taking Exo Sensi down and confirming him. Apollo spots a player from the side of Skylightz Gaming. That's going to be new player himself trying to do damage. Immediately new player jumps out and looking forward to picking up a fight. By talking about KO, he is looking forward to picking up a fight along with his teammates. They are trying to play it a little bit smart and slow at the same time, but the side of Team Mayavi is also right at the ridges. They know there is a team at the dip, and both of them have to fight against each other before they fight in the with the team which is in the dip.
I do completely agree with that. On the other side, Celsius Apollo with that rap gun. I mean, the M249 is a gun that I call a rap gun. It can just write different stories at different moments. Skylightz Gaming new player is the last surviving player for his entire team. The huge responsibility of himself, either surviving, either going down. I don't know what's gonna happen, but on the other side, Mania is down to the ground, and it's just two players left from the sides of Team Mayavi. Celsius Max is out of the play zone and will be going in for the heal battle. I mean, at this point of time, heal battle is not something that you are looking forward to, but right now, Max has no other options. New player is down right in front of him, but I guess going out, taking out your gun, just spraying bullets on him can cause him death, and that is something that he is really sure about. Talking about new player, he is trying his level best to survive as much as he can. He got his team to the top 7 with one entire finish, but right now they need to survive more to rackle up more and more placement points for themselves. New player, look at him, look at him. He is just waiting down patiently, no movements given at all. But Max, there you go. Right now he knows that he is running low on the first aid kits, and that's done for the sides of Team Celsius with the play zone eating him up completely.
Fifth position. I did not think that the side of Celsius would get eliminated at the fifth position. Unfortunate them for them, they'll be just getting 6 placement points in total. They'll be able to get 10 points, but if the side of Team EXO survive for a little bit longer and if they get close to 20 finishes, as we saw, I think 22 is going to be the difference, or 27, and if they're able to do it, we were seeing yesterday all 29-24 matches coming in terms of total points of every particular map, and EXO are looking forward to doing that. They still have 2 players, they still did take a finish on the last surviving player. They're looking forward to push the side of Team Mayavi. It is going to be a 2v2 situation. They're looking forward to finding the player. Panko going for a couple of sprays. Snacks makes use of that bait and he knocks a player down from the side of Team Mayavi. Now it's going to be the last surviving player. That's going to be Dark. They're looking forward to his information. He was playing behind the buggy. He was thrown all the way, and finally the few bullets connecting, he jumps up
Oh,
and the buggy was enough to destroy him. The buggy had received a lot of those bullets, and as soon as it burst, the side of Team Mayavi will be finished off.
one more team getting finished completely, and we are left with 4 teams and 11 alive players. The play zone is crumbling inside, and right now the sides of Team Exo Snacks, he is a bit far away from the zone, but you know, right, 18 meters is even a long distance there. Enigma Shaggy on the other sides, they do have a great dip to play around with, but once again, one wrong move can just create a lot of problems for them. There you go, VLT Atanki is being caught by Panku, but Max Kush will be taking him down, whereas Panku will be confirming the finish on the sides of Atanki. Next is down to the ground, is being revived back by his teammate, as always Bolte is already done and dusted, and the win prediction is already onto our screen. That's 27% for VLT, Enigma and Team Forever, whereas Team EXO is running low with players, and I guess that's the only reason they are with 18%.
Exactly, the percentage that is now somewhere balancing gain after revive. But look at this immediate knock and finish coming in from Enigma RV, very crucial for the side of Enigma. Yesterday, the performance, as we said, it was falling one after another. But right as not today, if we talk about it, they are playing it out better. But Snacks is also, he is going ham. He was destroying the player and getting that confirmation, but immediately receives a knock coming in from Eggy. And EXO are in a little bit of a tussle. It's not going to be easy right as now because it's going to be the one last surviving player, Panko, who needs to help. But in between this, Enigma, they're looking forward to push. Slayer is going to be the last surviving player. And as soon as Slayer gets finished off, it is going to be the side of EXO who have to face off the side of Enigma. Eggy had already spotted the player that's going to be Snacks. They know the information, but Panko, just hoping that the side of Enigma do not push, gets that revive completely done. And in between this, Nexus enjoying the view that is happening as the side of Enigma are climbing up the ridge and as the side of EXO are looking forward to retaliate. Snacks goes in for a different flank, but it is being read brilliantly coming in from the side of Enigma. But Nexus, you start, you beast. I don't know what to talk about this guy.
Oh my
He's playing
god.
it so sneaky. He has the entire information of how Enigma is playing.
He is just waiting back patiently. Even one opportunity he gets, he can destroy the sides of Team Enigma. But right now, Snacks is just waiting behind that ridge, and any moment Rao Avi or maybe his teammate can take him down. 8 finishes what Team Enigma got for themselves. But Nexus, he is being caught there. He was trying to play real sneaky, but is being caught by the sides of Team Enigma, and that's done and dusted for Team Forever. Right now, it's a 2v2 situation between the sides of Team Enigma and Team EXO. Well, 10 finishes for Exo is what they have. Avi is being caught into a 1v1 situation by Snacks. Will be trying. No, please don't do that. He will be trying his level best, and there you go. That's done and dusted completely. The very first match of AMD Grand Slam Grand Finals Day 2. Team Exo getting their winner chicken dinner.
What a match coming in from the side of EXO. Unbelievable. You saw the coordination between Panku as well as Snacks.
Yes,
Both of them
yes.
played like a military force, I would want to say that. When Panku was acting as bait, Snacks was picking up those finishes, Snacks was getting up those knocks. But when Panku did not have the opportunity because Enigma were pushing up, Snacks immediately patched himself up, wanted information. You saw Snacks had the opportunity of spraying a lot more with his bullets, but what did he do? As soon as he understood that this couple of bullets connected and the next few aren't connecting, he came back into the smoke. He gave the cue that both of them are right in front of my side. I've done the damage on one of those players. The other one you can also try and do. And immediately Panku comes up, finds both the players one after another, and finishes off the side of Enigma. What a way to end this first map of a wrangle. I did not think it would come this close. Enigma had the advantage. Enigma had the forefront. Nexus from the side of Team Forever looked like he had the entire control. He would have actually gotten the winner chicken dinner, but his trigger discipline did not pay out as he wanted, and also the circle was also pushing him. The blue zone was right at his heels, and he had to do something about it. Either he had to crawl through. If he had crawled through as Enigma, Eggy was immediately switching around. He was in a 360-degree rotation in terms of just running around in circles. So he could have spotted Nexus easily, and that's the reason Nexus also lost his composure. But the composure never being lost from the side of EXO. They rushed to the side of Velocity. They were ready for the fight, but as soon as Snacks got knocked, all they were hoping for is that Enigma does not push them, and they did not, and they capitalized it, got the chicken dinner.
What a match it has been, right? We always
Exactly.
say that the map of Erangel is a classic map, but look at this. The very first play zone or the very second play zone is where all the fights started to scramble in. Not just a normal 4v4 fight, but we saw eventually a third party being done. It was
Hmm.
the sides of Team TSM getting into a third party where they thought that yes, they could get something out of that third party, but what did they got? Two casualties, two players
Exactly.
down to the ground is something that was really difficult for them. And at the end of the day, you know, right, when you are running really low on players, that's just a survival play that you play, and that's done. It was Team TSM eventually getting done and dusted. But talking more about these fights, highlights are all set to your ways. It started with Team Velocity getting into a fight with the sides of Team Chemin, and the second fight where Team Enigma was into a fight with the sides of Team Skylightz Gaming.
It was very interesting. New players somehow managed to run away, stay up until the last few circles, but this push coming in from the side of Soul was not calculated. Yes, Goblin tried his best. He did the damage on Madman. He did do the damage on Juicy as well. Got himself a knock, but Wraith and Madman both were surviving. Madman was a knock. So the confidence for Wraith was still there, and Wraith immediately came through, helped his teammate as soon as the information came, and he got eliminated. That was the end of Soul. But talking about the side of TSM, as you said, they did get two casualties, but they did not check the compound, just slammed into it. Thought they would be easily able to take control of it. But then we saw this fight, which lasted, as you said, more than 4 minutes from the side of Team Mayavi as well as Entity. And one grenade coming in from Manya did the job to completely convert it to the favor of Team Mayavi. But then we saw the fight where 8-Bit, after getting the confidence, they did not stop. They were looking forward to picking up a lot more fights. They did do the damage on the side of EXO. They only made sure that the last two surviving players were there. But there was some kind of an unfortunate push coming through from the side of Nugget. They did not calculate it. I'm not too sure what happened there. But Team Nugget rushed to the side of Celsius into a shack, and they got the advantage out of it, and Celsius survived. But this fight with the side of 8-Bit, 8-Bit was successfully able to eliminate the side of OG, but then they all got eliminated from three different teams, scoping them in.
Three different teams at the end circle is something that is really interesting. On the other sides, EXO, they were looking good, right? They were really looking good. It was five finishes for them. Then they eliminated the sides of Team Mayavi. They were looking forward to take down the players of Velocity as well. And out of all this happening, I guess Nexus was the last player who maintained a triggered discipline. After one more player going down, I guess Nexus was the last surviving player, and he just had to wait down. Enigma, we look at this, the way he we just went ham on the sides of Team Velocity was really amazing. And at the last fight, that's gonna be a 2v2 situation where Avi tried his level best to take Snacks down, but eventually Team EXO got that chicken dinner. And this is the end of the very first match. The star of the match is these players were shining really bright. EXO Snacks, that's going to be going all out for 6 finishes. 8-bit right for best companion, 3 revivals, and EXO Panko for the final elimination.
Six finishes, Snacks. What a match! You were the
Exactly.
destroyer in this. But yes, as a team, if you both did not play, you can see these two names that are there as the stars and as well as the finishers that wouldn't have been there. It would have been someone from the side of Enigma along with Egi. I think it was Sagi. So these two players could have come here as going all out and maybe the finisher in the final elimination. But you could see here it was 8 by Trade who clutched for when the fight with the soul happened and then immediately revived his companions, and that's the reason the side of 8-bit had all the four players standing. This is why it's very crucial, right? You need to have your numbers up. You need to actually trade your fights. If you're not able to trade your fights, the other team will able to get the upper hand of the fight and immediately eliminate. And again, coming back to the fight between the side of Team Mayavi and Entity, if one Manya's grenade did not get two knocks, it would have been still Entity holding the compound, and it could have been difficult for the side of Team Mayavi to enter. If one player got knocked as they were entering, it would have become a 2v2 situation. But talking about the standings and the results of this Erangel map, you can see a strong map coming in, and exactly 27 points is what the side of EXO have taken here. They understood the difference that was there from the team that is Celsius, which was on top. They understood how many points they need in total. They have grabbed it. But Celsius were a little bit smart. They got a couple of placement points because of which they'll be pushing themselves into 6 points, so they should be able to make a little bit of a difference, not 20 but maybe a couple of points here and there. But coming to the second position team, it's going to be the side of Enigma. They also had 9 finishes, and in total with their 12 placement points will be coming up at 21 at the second position.
These are the top two teams. Talking about the third teams, it's gonna be Team Forever with 13 total points. Well, not just the third team, but the fourth and the fifth team got themselves 13, 13, 13 points. Look at this. Forever, Velocity, and Team Mayavi got the equal number of total finishes, sorry, total points. But what different here is the number of finishes and the placement points these teams have got. Talking about 8-bit, well, yes, they managed to take 10 total points out of this entire map, where 9 were for finishes and 1 is the placement point that they got. Team Nugget with a total of 8, Celsius Esports with 6, Skylightz Gaming with 5, and 7C Esports with 3 total points. But after this, I mean, the teams that are having single digit in one single map is something that I'm really, really scared of.
We all are scared of a lot of things. As you said, the point difference is going to be something that teams need to worry about, and as I said, it is going to be the couple it's going to be a couple of points that the team will be having a difference in. The side of Exo said no more couple, it's not going to be two, it's just going to be one. 95 and 94, Celsius still on top but not as strong as they were on day one, and day two is looking very difficult for them. If they have a similar performance on Miramar, EXO should be easily able to topple them down. But talking about the side of Enigma, here is where I would say the bouncer has happened, where a huge leap has happened. Enigma have jumped up from the second page to the first page and immediately to the third position, pushing down not only the side of Nugget and also making sure the side of 8-bit who are looking forward to come up push them down as well. And the difference right now is going to be huge compared to the first two teams, because Enigma will be sitting with 64 points and the total point difference is 30. 8-bit will be sitting with 60 points with 4-point difference. Nugget have come down with just 60 points, matching up with the side of 8-bit. Forever at the sixth position with 59 points. Talking about the side of Skylightz Gaming at the seventh position, will be having 55, 4 points in terms of difference. Orangutan here having 51. So somewhere in the first page here, Darshita, all the teams have hit the half century mark, but there is one team that we were rooting for and thinking that on day one itself that Celsius will be getting the century mark, and it is not there. They have just got 95 as of now, and that tells you they were at 89 and they've got 6 points, and that has got them to 95. So Celsius, they need to pay attention to what is happening to their game.
Everyone needs to right now. I mean, look at the position and the finish points. Team Celsius looking really good on position. But once again, you need to be careful for finishes as well. It's not just one aspect that we, keep on talking about again and again. But focusing more on the second side as well. The ninth position is going to be 7C Esports with one chicken dinner and 51 total points. I mean, getting one chicken dinner, well, yes, you did a great job for your entire team. But position points, once again, 15 is what you got for the chicken dinner and plus 4 points. That's everything that you have. And 7C Esports, they are looking good on finishes. They need to, I would say that definitely position points is something that they need to focus on. Chemin Esports on the 10th position with 43. A single difference is what Team Entity has, a total of 42 points. Team Mayavi with a total of 36. Team Soul 34. TSM 33. Velocity with 32. And Godlike with 30 points. That's the overall rankings after match 7, whereas some teams have been pushed down, whereas some teams are just going up and up.
Exactly. Every team is looking forward to start climbing up, as you said, Darshita. But again, I'm still happy that even though we are seeing teams at the bottom, that it is not like they're just left with 5 points in total, 10 points in total, and not even matching up to 20. You can see they are at 30 points in total, and that still has hope for them. They can start climbing up very soon. And as we talked about it, day 3 and day 4 is going to be the day of comebacks. And a couple of teams are already performing really brilliant here on day two. It started off again talking about EXO. EXO, their starting journey was not that great, but if you pay attention to how their entire scenario on yesterday was, they played it very cautiously, waited for opportunity, and as soon as the last map of a angle came through, they got the winner chicken dinner and made sure their end was good, because of which you see the start has also been great for them again with another winner chicken dinner. So somewhere down the line, EXO Ni understands how this entire situation will be panning out depending on what their thought process will be and how the teams will be fighting it out. And today, maybe EXO finds up those two winner chicken dinners for themselves, just like Celsius did on the map of Erangel. But now it's going to be the map of Miramar. Miramar is where everything changes. You had covers to play with, even in an open situation, you had a couple of bushes, but here it's just going to be dunes, and lot of them yield up being your own casualty because you're unable to control your vehicle or you're unable to control your splits from your teammates.
Sand dunes, the most interesting part about this map of Miramar. I mean, I really love the way these ridge gameplays get played. You just have one ridge in front of you, and that is something that you need to focus on. And if you are not able to, you just get down to the ground, down to the dust, and that's done and dusted for you. So yes, this map of Miramar is eventually going to change a lot of things that has previously happened in the map of Miramar. And talking about this specific map, we do see few teams that do have a upper hand advantage. I mean to say, this map consists of long buildings of huge height advantages. But once
Yes.
again, a thing that gives you advantage eventually gives you disadvantage. So that is something that you need to be really careful about.
Anything that gives you advantage, as you said, has a disadvantage, because we have the physics, we have the law, right, which says
Exactly.
every reaction is an equal and opposite
Equal.
reaction.
Yes.
That's what is going to be happening. So teams need to understand here immediately after coming in with a huge winner chicken dinner, especially like EXO. If they immediately look forward to performing here on the map of Miramar, the possibility is there, but you need to understand it's not going to be panning out the similar way, because it's not a angle again that you're playing. And as you said, Darshita, there's going to be a lot of higher ground advantages that teams will be playing, and there will be the verticality game being brought through, and teams will have a tough situation. But again, you can't just rely on the verticality game. You need to find your opponents, take up fights, because otherwise, just like you saw yesterday, you have to just be ready for any fights coming your way. But if you play like today, we saw the map of Erangel, we saw where every team was picking the fights that they wanted. Yes, a couple of teams looked forward to do third party and they were not ready for it, they got finished off. But whichever team was looking forward to picking the fights, they were getting those finishes. You saw the side of Enigma, you saw the side of Team Mayavi, you saw the side of Velocity. They wanted the fights, they picked up the fight. You saw the side of EXO, even though that they were caught in the dip, they waited for the opportunity where the fight actually disengaged and moved away from them, and then they started answering back and got those finishes in their favor and got the chicken dinner. So here on the map of Miramar, always talk about it. You need to be the magicians. You need to pick up fights and then disappear. It's like abracadabra. We are not there anymore here, and
Exactly,
something like that
exactly.
needs to happen on the map of Miramar. Otherwise, the third party which teams were looking forward to do on Erangel will easily happen on Miramar.
Miramar is always about third parties. There's just one thing that I keep on repeating myself is you need to be real clever about your back. It's not just a front fight that you take, but eventually, what if you are taking a mid-range fight, a front fight that you are taking? What if some team comes from your back, destroys everything, and just get vanished? There's nothing that you can do about that, right? So that is why this map is something that you really need to be careful about. And talking about careful, I guess vehicles is something that you need to be more careful about. I mean, yeah, I do say that regularly, and we do see that happening regularly, right? One, two,
Yes.
three players. I mean, vehicle explosion is something that is really favorite for these players.
I mean, it's
Yeah, exactly.
how can I put it? It's a view that viewers and us as casters enjoy, and as well the opponent who destroys the vehicle enjoys, not the opponent receiving the
Yeah,
damage.
yeah,
They'll be
sure.
like, oh no, I mean, why did I even take this vehicle? But again, for all you viewers enjoying out there, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe and also the bell icon. And I'm also seeing a couple of you asking about when and how they can join in such a tournament. For you guys, to let you guys know, 10,000 plus registrations happened for this AMD Sky Esports Grand Slam. This is season 2. Season 1, we have two winners who have a direct invitation here. It's going to be the side of Velocity as well as the runner ups themselves, that is going to be Soul, who are playing here. Looking forward to maybe regaining their title. Soul looking forward to becoming the champions finally. Velocity looking forward to defending their titles. We'll see how it will be panning out. As I said, you guys will also have a chance, and for that, you need to follow us on at the rate Sky Esports Gaming on Instagram. That's where you will get an, I would say, update about the next upcoming tournaments, upcoming titles, in case you play other games than BGM as well, along with the prizes. And also, if you were not following us, there were a lot of stories and posts coming through with all the major announcements that it is coming down the line this year with big prize pools that you guys can enjoy. And finally, your dream of becoming an esports athlete might actually come into fruition. And also for you BGMI lovers who are enjoying Grand Slam, do not forget to follow us on at the rate Sky Esports Grand Slam. In case you had a meeting, instead you had a class, you had some household work that you had to pay and made to work and had to finish it off as soon as possible, you can find the highlights on our Instagram page at the Red Sky Esports Grand Slam, and also the scoreboard updates. But as always, we say, in case you're enjoying our casting right as now, it's going to be me, Lucifer, along with Darshita. You already seeing our names. The Instagram handles are right next to it as well. You can follow us if you have any questions on how to join. If you are looking forward to joining a teammate, we will look forward to also, I would say, direct you in the correct path so that you find your way into becoming an esport athlete. And the next time we actually here on the desk, Darshita, I'm hoping to see the new faces because the new faces are making a lot of noise.
A lot of noise. I mean, you just said a while ago that we received 10,000 registrations. What a journey we have. We
Exactly.
are right now left with 16 top teams that are fighting it out in the grand finals. And it is just getting better day by day. One day passing by, and you are like, okay, this is happening. The another day you get up and you're like, okay, this is going to happen. I mean, we are just like, I mean, it's just an OMG moment that we are facing each and
True.
every time. And with this upcoming map of Miramar, it can be doubled at any moment. But everything being said and done, a prediction I want from you, Sam, right now is the first play zone.
Okay. I mean, I think this is inevitable. As long as you're in the caster desk, you have to make your predictions.
Yeah,
Chat, you guys
true.
also start making your predictions. But the one thing that you did mention yesterday is that you do not want to see Lost Lunas becoming the last few circles. I would say I want to start seeing the first circle forming at Los Leones and also ending up at Los Leones because I always enjoy
Okay.
the compound hold and compound fights. And you know, whenever the compounds come through, you also get to see the grenade action coming through. So the bombardment from various directions into the building or right next to a fence or right next to a compound, whatever it may be, whatever a hard compound that any team is holding in terms of a cover, they might get knocked. Because in the Erangel, we saw a matchup in military base itself. Slayer, he had the grenade in his hand, he had spotted Destroy and he just casually, I would say, throws that grenade. It flies directly, hits on Destro, and he gets knocked. And that's going to be the start and the downfall of Chemin. That can happen here as well. And along with that, as I did mention this, I'm looking forward to maybe a drop clash happening right here at Los Linus, or maybe at Chumacera, or maybe at San Martin.
I do believe we are going to see a drop clash happening any moment. I mean, yes, I know, audience, you guys are really excited that please start the very second map of Miramar. We casters, trust me, are more excited. Sitting on this
Yes.
desk and casting, just jumping on our chairs with each and every grenade bombarding to the enemy's face is just like what a beautiful grenade it was. Like, I mean, yeah. So these are some specific moments that we are really keen, we are really excited to look forward to. And
Hmm.
as you said, the compound fights are something that you are looking forward to. But if you ask me, Sam, right now I'm looking forward to a complete open areas fight where you get no covers to work around with, but everything being said and done, the players cam are already set, and a nail biting movement is what we are seeing from the sides of Team Celsius.
I'm looking forward to it, Darshita, on how this nail biting situation will come into a winner winner chicken dinner, because yes, we do like enjoy a feast and then we start licking fingers. I mean, okay, I'll not go there. It's about to
Yeah.
be lunchtime. We are going to be, I mean, it's already past lunchtime, and I do not want anybody in the chat also. I mean, they will be enjoying for sure with the TVs or with the phones that they're watching, along with the nice lunch. And yes, we'll be also having our lunches very soon, but in the meantime, it is going to be very crucial that these teams are geared up. They've had all their energies, they've all had their lunches or snacks or whatever. There is going to be a momentary gap that they get between maps, and that's where they need to re-energize themselves, refuel themselves, just like the flight path that you're seeing that comes just before the flight refuels itself, and then it starts flying up. And you can see it's going to be a completely vertical flight path, a diagonal one coming in from Minas del Sur towards Torre Ahmoda. And from here on, teams will have an equal chance on wherever they want to go. They want to go to Puerto Peso or Impala, or they want to go all the way to Ruins. A little bit difficult, but yes, again, they can immediately take with a parachute and drop down and head over close to Montenuo and El Pozo, somewhere in between, get a vehicle and run to the ruins.
Equal chance of dropping to their primary drop location. And this can be really amazing. I mean, you look forward to your primary drop location, and then as the zone crumbles, you have to make sure that you are in the whites and not in the blues. So that you get eaten up by the zone itself. But what is happening in the areas of Saint Martin? So many teams dropping down there to the areas. I mean, yes, for now, I guess initial drop clashes is something that has been avoided, but not for the sides of Team Entity. And if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Chemin Esports once again with the very first play zone coming up. I guess most of the teams are already into the play zone. It's just one or the two teams out there at the edges.
Let's see how it's going to be, the edges coming through. But one thing, yes, as the circle we are seeing here, Darshita, I'm happy about it. The Los Linos compounds are there, but looking at the circle, I think the last, I would say, you make some wishes, right? Your wishes will not always be 100% guarantee. A certain percentage of it is given to you, and you should be happy with it. You shouldn't be asking for more. If you ask for more, it eventually ends up being um, I would say no use of that wish. You eventually just end up telling that I wanted a little bit more. It would have been better like this. But so for me, I'm happy with the first circle coming through, encompassing the sides of Lost Leones. The next few might actually let out the side of Lost Leones, but right as now, just like Kemen faced off a difficulty in the map of Wrangle, they are about to have it on the map of Miramar as well. Noob has spotted the player out, but Noob, he did not have a rifle, I guess. He has one, no, my bad. He has two rifles on his back. He was running out of his hand. I did not pay attention to his backpack and his shoulders. And yes, he has two rifles to play with. On the other end, Destro will also be looking forward to picking up the loot. But the side of Entity, they're very split apart in their commitment to picking up a fight with Destro. Kemin, I think they might actually end up having a lot more casualties because they are split apart. If Destro is able to capitalize and get a knock and a finish, the casualty comes the way of Entity.
I do believe this can happen, but again, it depends, right? If what if Kemin loses one player? What if NTD loses one player? It's just gonna be one player down, but Destro, he is looking forward to that vehicle, and that can cause him a problem there. There you go. He is just brought back to the low HP, and he needs to go back to the inner wall covers. He has no other options than working around those inner walls cover. As a noob on the other side, NTT noob on the other side has a greater height advantage. But if you guys do have any questions, anything that we are not able to answer right now after reading the chats, you can directly shoot your questions using hashtag AskSkyEsports, and we as a caster or analyst will make sure to answer all of them.
Exactly. If you have any questions, don't forget to shoot it across on Twitter at the rate Sky Esports India. We will be looking forward to them, maybe having a chat and a discussion during the game, maybe even off the game in the caster's desk. But right as now, Soul will be looking forward to redemption. They did not have a great run previously. They did lose out with the fight of 8-bit, and they lost those finish points that they could have actually grabbed, because they did also deal a couple of knocks on 8-bit, and the revive was there coming in from raid after the entire team was finished off. Talking with the side of EXO, they were the ones who got the winner chicken dinner, so they will be looking forward to replicating here it on the map of Miramar.
They can try their level best right now. I mean, not just they, but each and every team is just trying their level best. Look at things happening right now. The map of Erangel, the way it started, it was completely devastating. But this map is at silence right now. Nothing is happening. No initial players are being picked, and the only reason I guess is just because of the play zone favoring the players. I mean, I do mean by saying this that yes, rotational clashes right now, I do not see them coming by any chance. Players are already having a great chunk of the play zone, and even if in case they need to rotate, I guess the fights can be avoided. But there you go, 7C Prince once again way too away from his teammate. And nearby, I can see the sides of Team Godlike as well. At any moment, if by any case Team Godlike gets to know about this one player being isolated away from his team, Team Godlike will utilize it. But for the moment, they are looking safe and secure, just trying to move away as much as they can.
Exactly, they'll be looking forward to being safe, and you see, godlike writers so now have the ability to make sure they get in the top. But as their progression is happening, as the fights that they're picking up in every circle as it starts closing in, they're unable to hold their ground, and it's like somebody is pulling off the floor rug or floor mat under their feet, and they're just falling apart one after another, just slipping on the floor. And I think Godlike will be looking forward to making a comeback after that. Their finishes, yes, are strong. Placement points is where they have to pay attention. Soul, same goes for them. The finishes has been exceptional, and placement points is what they're missing. But this time it looks like they're ready for it. And as you said, Soul might end up actually picking up a lot more fights. They're come in close quarters with the side of Godlike. The vehicle sounds have been heard from both the sides. The initial damage comes in from the side of Soul, but then they receive the same thing coming in from the side of Godlike. So the blows have already started being exchanged.
Blows have already started being exchanged, and right now both of them are just waiting for an opening. They are just waiting for one player to get down, and eventually as this happens, this fight can get more and more intense. Look at Goblin going down the vehicle at running stage is not something that you do, my friend. He is running low on HP, and he needs to utilize the bandages or the med kits that he had. But on the other hand, when I talk about Soul completely, one player is holding a complete different angle, whereas the other three players are holding a complete different angle. On the other side, you talk about GodL. Two players are playing together, and the rest two players are playing into a complete split, trying to cover as many angles as possible. But the position Goblin is holding can cause a lot of problems.
Exactly, I also think the same. It's not going to be that easy, and that's the reason the side of Godlike want more information. But again, Soul is playing a little bit smart. If they give up their information off their flanker, that's when everything will fall apart for the side of Team Soul, and then we will see the side of Godlike rising, getting those finishes in their favor. And especially on this map of Miramar, these early fights, especially in the first circle, is going to be very crucial, because this might actually help in your rotations, or this might actually break your rotations.
Break your rotations, build your rotations, so much is happening. But right now, Look at Goblin. His position is being compromised, and there you go. His HP is just brought down to so low that he needs to utilize his health kit once again. Pushparaj OP is waiting patiently. Not just him, but the entire team of Godlike is right now waiting patiently because they know for a fact that right now racking up points is really going to be important. But on the other sides, 8-bit Ride getting one on the sides of team Nuggets is going to be a great one for them. One grenade from the sides can cause a lot of problems. On the other sides, there you go. This is the fight I was talking about. Bacha OP is just being caught by different angle at different time. There you go. Juicy is into his back, and there are players right in front of his face. He needs to make sure to clear both the sides, or else one side will just eat him up completely.
They have to clear both the sides, but I think right as of now it might be
Oh,
a panic situation coming in, and it might be a couple of mistakes being done. But it's going to be Bacha OP getting pushed from the side of 8-bit. If it was not from the rifle coming in from Madman, there were grenades and mollies coming across him. So Bacha, one or the other way, will be finished off. And yes, the confirmation comes the way, and 8-bit gets their second finish on board. It might be the third one, and yes, it's going to be the third one as well, as Raid blows up the vehicle, and three finishes falling one after another from the side of Team Nugget. And Anuj Topi, the last surviving player, this man is a top fragger. He has the responsibility to become the top fragger and get a lot more finishes, but still the circle not making a huge shift. Yes, it has shifted to the center itself, not favoring a lot of those western edges, and 8-bit capitalizing again. But Soul, they did try and get a knock. They did try to do a lot of damage, but after that, the side of God, like, they used the compound, they used that open, I can say, a warehouse or just a couple of open barns, and made sure that they were in a safety position. And if they wanted to revive, they were able to revive themselves and not pick up that fight with the side of Soul.
a safer position is something that each and everyone is looking forward to, and especially in such map of Miramar, I guess that is the primary thing that you will be looking forward to. On the other side, you talk about the side, the team of Velocity. We do have 4-on-4 surviving players, no initial fights, no initial damages, nothing being done. They are just looking forward to a inner wall cover. They are just looking forward to a great position where they can just spot the enemies and take them down as soon as possible. But Godlike right now, they are trying to spectate the side of Team Forever as well. If I'm not wrong, that's going to be the sides of Team Forever. One another side, it's going to be Team Soul. That's going to be multiple teams, and Team Godlike, they do have an advantage of the inner wall covers, but not for a longer period of time. As you can see, 7C once again behind the backs. It's a total of three teams, right? It's a complete triangle or a square formed somewhere into that areas.
Exactly. I mean, it's going to be sandwich fights coming through on the map of Miramar, because we have talked about it. It's such a big map and also an open map. If you waste a lot of time in a particular area, there might be other teams making rotations, and when they make rotations, they're eventually going to meet you, because you have been in a standstill position facing off an opponent who has also been in a standstill position. So all you have to hope when a third party starts happening is going to be that they spot out the opponent that you are holding off. I know it's going to be they them that I'm here pointing out one after another, difficult to follow, but nonetheless, these teams that are looking forward to picking up these third party fights need to be wary about the information and the position. A lot of these teams, thinking Miramar is such an open map, go forward and pick up a fight, and then they understand that, oh wait, even though it's such an open map, it is able to deny information. So teams need to understand, they need to spot all the four players of a particular team and then picking up a fight. But right now, a team which is crossing across, going across the land, will be the side of Chemin. Anuj Topi, he able to hear everything but unable to do anything.
Unable to do anything because he wants to survive. Right now, if he goes
Exactly.
out, picks a fight, that's done and dusted for him. So that is something that he needs to be really careful about. On the other side, you talk about the play zone. Each and everyone right now is just trying to get a hold of the center and not the edges. And trust me, that is That is a situation that, yes, gives you a great advantage of the play zone, but eventually you get caught yourself into multiple teams just fighting it out from each and every angle, and that is something that you need to be careful about. But one more zone shift incoming, and the players right now needs to get into their vehicles and have a marathon of who will be the one winning the marathon, getting first into the play zone, and having a great chunk of that. On the other side, we talk about the players of right now, they are on the low advantage, whereas the sides of team entity can utilize the higher ground advantage. They do have to play around play zone. The things that depends on each and every fight is the play zone, but eventually the inner wall covers that GodL once again has to work around with.
We'll see how it's going to be working around as godlike, as you said, will have a tough situation. Uphill battle is what they have to face. Anuj Topi making a run for the hills. He's understood it's going to be difficult for him, but looks like we are also having a little bit of a technical snag and a technical glitch here. We'll be looking into it on how to correct it, and I think we are back in action and it's going to be working out very soon. I mean, this is something that we are doing it remotely and cannot actually control everything on our own, but right now controlling the game is going to be the side of TSM, and a great grenade coming out towards Soul and gets two knocks. The last surviving player, yes, player 3 is there, but you saw his health and immediately he gets knocked, and Blaze OP out in the open finds Pew Pew, and it should be the end of Soul. Pew Pew, I'm not even
Oh,
sure how he's dodging it.
oh
He's
my
going, picking up
god.
the shot, going down prone and again picking up for a shot, but he managed to get a knock. But right now look at Shadow OG, he's pushing in. Even though he's knocked, he wants the information, and the
Oh,
last grenade making use of the resource, he gets the knock. But Enigma as a third party come from uphill, come from the compounds, peek up, and immediately get another knock on the side of TSM. The side of TSM, they control the fight with the side of Soul, got the finishes, but they are in a difficult spot right as now, especially those two players who are out in the open. That is going to be, I guess, Shadow OG as well as Blaze OP.
you need to be careful about your back, or else third party is something that you will be facing. Is the case happening right now. Team Enigma, they managed to take one player down, but once again, they need to decide whether to go in real aggressive towards the enemies or whether to wait back, rotate for the play zone. But what did just happen? Eggy, no, you don't do that once again. Falling off the vehicle, Eggy will be finding himself down to the ground. He is just waiting for his teammate to revive him back, but in the blues is something that they need to be really careful about. On the other side, you talk about the side of team godlike right now, they have done a great job of playing into the inner wall cover, but right now they need to look forward to taking a fight, taking more of the points into their accounts. That is something that is much needed. But look at Dark Lord, no Neo, he gets caught into a real awkward position, but the cover fires were real on point by Clutch God, manages to take one on the sides of Dark Lord, and Team Godlike will be deciding to go in hand towards their enemies.
Team Entity Riders now in a tough spot after that one knock that came through on Dark Lord, as you said. It is going to be a finish that the side of Godlike will be looking forward to grab up, and this is the opportunity. The uphill battle, this is where it will work out for them, and they immediately grab that finish for themselves, and they'll be looking forward to push. But Entity making a couple of mistakes, they're making a run for it, and they might meet up with a different team, and this is where we do not want these kind of instances happening. You do not need to make such an, I would say, chaotic or a panic call, and those panic calls is yielding in a lot of knocks, and you can see that is happening. Team Mayavi getting 1 on 7 C Prince, Skylightz Soumya is falling apart for towards the side of Team Forever, and still it is not the finishes coming their way. Celsius Max is going to be the first finish being confirmed from the side of Fears in all these knocks that we just saw, and next following it up is going to be a grenade coming in from 7C, I'm sorry, from the side, and will be confirming two players from the side of 7C, Sarang as well as Prince. 7C also falling apart one after another. The last two surviving player is going to be Spray God as well as Savitar. In between all these chaos, we will be seeing how it is going to be panning out, but in the meantime, Godlike have gotten a compound for themselves where they'll be more than happy. But one after another, the three team cluster is making sure that the side of Celsius do not survive.
Cluster happening exactly in the center of the zone. is something that is difficult to find out. But on the other side, OG Pechankon will be taking Sensai down. Dreams is down to the ground. His dreams are just shattering right now. He needs to make sure that they are up, but I guess that's gonna be Team Celsius getting eliminated there and there. On the other side, look at Noob. The high scope that he is holding on that AKM is something that is difficult to control, but he is trying his level best. Play zone, Enigma we going down due to play zone. Team Enigma also getting eliminated. The last player went down due to play zone is something that is shocking. But on the other hand, Pechankon going into a 1v1 situation will be taking down EXO Fears and just eliminating him completely. Right now, Team EXO, who were the winners of the previous match, are looking really low on players, and that's gonna be one last player surviving. He just needs to survive because it's still 13 teams, and eventually, if he gets into a fight and gets down, that's done and dusted for them without any points. But he is sure of what position Ash is holding. This can be dangerous for Ash, but Snaxy is just not going to spray any kinds of bullet, but eventually will be trying to take as much finishes as he can in his account.
Snacks, he wanted that finish. He did go in for the spray.
Yeah,
Unfortunate,
exactly.
Darshita. I mean,
He couldn't.
yeah, it does happen, right? It's right in front of you. It's served in a platter. He saw that knock, but the smoke immediately that popped after that knock denied him any kind of vision. Then you can see still the side of Orangutan trying to find a way to retaliate, but they're falling one after another to the hands of the side of Velocity. Godlike, after the opening that they found, they were able to come on top. They're looking forward to push their aggression and push their force, but in the meantime, Velocity should have waited. They knew they had the numbers in terms of advantage. Their teammates were giving a revive and patching themselves, and I think Team Velocity could have had a casualty if another player got knocked in between the fight, and they might also be eliminated. But now
Oh,
grenades coming across 7C. Unfortunate for them. Spray God, as soon as he got confirmed Savitar was the last surviving player, and the grenade coming right to his face finished the side of Savitar as well and got the side of 7C to an end.
7C2, and on the other side, Team Mayavi is just trying their level best to take the sides of Team Godlike down. But Godlike, what will be Pushparaj doing? He is just going in for some smokes his entire way, so the visions of the enemies gets blocked, not just from the front but from the back itself. On the other side, we see the sides of Team VLT and Orangutan fighting. That's one player down to the ground, two player, and the entire team goes down by the sides of Team Orangutan with 7 amazing finishes for them. A great start for the sides of Team OG, but will they be able to maintain the consistency is going to be the question. Manya with that grenade can cause a lot of problems there, but Neo right now is causing some for the sides of GE Dark there. Clutch God is down to the ground. Well, it's going to be Edmino taking him down, and Manya right now is just looking forward to confirm as many players as he can. Neo once again with that grenade will be trying to stop the aggression Manya is showcasing, but will that grenade get a connection? Well, that's a no. That's a no. The grenade is not getting any kind of connection. A second grenade is what Neo is looking forward to. Will be dealing a lot of damages on the sides of Dark, but nevertheless, damages is something that he needs to satisfy himself. Finds himself on fire, and that's done. Neo is down to the ground. Will be eliminated completely. Manya is looking forward to take as much as he can. Clutch got really low on HP. Needs to find himself a place and patch himself up as soon as he can.
This is unfortunate for the side of Godlike here, Darshita. I think there is going to be no patching up happening here. The side of Team Mayavi has isolated every player from the side of Godlike. Godlike, look at them. They are there. 3 players are still standing, but the fight that they want to look at is going to be different. Every player is concentrated on a single player from the side of Team Mayavi. But
Oh,
finally, those grenades make connections. They actually knock 2 players, Admino and Manya. So right as now, the entire responsibility comes to Dark. He needs to find the opening. He spotted Gil, but he's not shooting. He's waiting for the trigger discipline, and Gil will not wait for anything. He has his teammates rushing uphill with him, and he's going to be finishing off the last surviving player from the side of Team Mayavi. The opportunity was there. Manya was looking so good. There were instances being created for the side of Team Mayavi to clutch and finish off the side of Godlike, but one small mistake is they slowed down their game. You never slow down a fight such as in front of Godlike, and Godlike, the second chance that the side of Godlike get, they immediately answer back, and that's what they did.
I do completely agree with that. On the other side, the zone is crumbling in and the players needs to rush by. Gil once again is being caught into a real different situation, and he is down to the ground. Right now, Pushparaj will be trying his best to revive him back to his life, but on the other sides, we do have the sides of Riot trying to take clear down. Kamla Boy and Pukar going into one buggy. What? One flying buggy is what just we saw a while ago. Madman just going ham, but there you go. Madman is down to the ground once again. Juicy will be trying his level best to take the sides of Team Godlike down, but what Godlike is doing, they are just waiting patiently right now. They are just waiting so that they can patch themselves up completely and then get into a fight. On the other side, Skylightz Gaming is finding themselves into difficulties as one player is down to the ground. TSM Ninja Jord with that grenade will be taking Oasis Bolte down to the ground. Kamla Boy with that UMP trying to go as fast as he can, as further as he can, and you know how deadly UMP is in a close range battle. But believe my friend, you are out of the play zone. You are playing in the blues, and that is something that you are not to be doing in this map of Miramar. That is done and dusted for the sides of Team Orangutan as well. Skylightz Gaming on the other side is just reviving their players back to their life.
Skylightz Gaming, they do have a compound, as you said. They will be reviving the players, but they need to concentrate on the next upcoming fights. On the other hand, Godlike, yes, have had a casualty, looking forward to something better. But in the meantime, Team Forever and TSM having a fight, and it looks like TSM are going to be having the upper hand as the kill feed is giving them the finishes and knocks. Godlike will also find a player from the side of Chemin. That's going to be Delta PG, and that's going to be the Q to start moving into a compound, get control of whatever compound that the side of Chemin were holding. But in the meantime, Team Forever, the initial knocks that came in from the side of TSM and the finishes that have not come through is the reason that the side of Team Forever are still breathing and looking forward to fight. It's going to be Kyo who will be revived and looking forward to a better fight. But in the meantime, TSM are being bombarded from a different team, and that is making their life a little bit difficult in terms of concentrating on one single team. So right as now, entity coming through in between the fight that they were doing with the side of Forever is going to be difficult. But Papa Nihimaninge from the side of Kemin find a player from 8-bit, immediately getting a knock on Juicy, immediately looking also for a finish. But in the meantime, it's going to be Oves Bolte who will be confirmed.
One player being confirmed there and there. On the other sides, you talk about the sides of Team TSM. Right now, they were just falling down, but oh my god, the grenade just bombarded on the face itself, and TSM right now is just falling down as dominoes. On the other side, Pushparaj OP manages to take one, and that's going to be Team Celsius if I'm not wrong. Sorry, Team Chemin Esports getting eliminated there and there. Godlike with 5 amazing finishes. That was one player from Team Forever who just set himself on the fire, but eventually he will be just patching himself up as soon as possible. Right now, the last surviving player, TSM, one player is down to the ground, but all the 3 players are really running low on their health. They need to patch themselves up before any kind of aggression comes towards them. And Aquanox will be making sure to patch himself up. But what's running low is the amount of armor, the headsets that they are playing around with. On the other side, 8-bit Madman manages to take one. Okay, that was Entity Noob taking GodL Guild down. I just thought it was Madman. My bad on that. But other sides, GodL, they are just a deadly duo left, and I guess survival is the only thing that is left for them.
8-bit did the damage, entity stole the
Oh,
finish over there. That's what
okay.
happened there.
Interesting.
And what a play it's going to be panning out right now. Godlike, who looked like the team which had everything under control, but as soon as the circle shifted, they understood they do not have the compound to hold for a long time. They need to start moving in. But what they did was taking a vehicle. In these last few circles, you should never pick up a vehicle, and you made that wrong move. You saw the buggy also start toppling, and the other teams had the information that they wanted. But right as you know, as you said, the side of entity are also looking forward to making sure that the
Oh,
number disadvantage does not. What and
oh my
how, Pukar?
god.
What and how did you manage to pull that off? You saw the window, I think we did not get to see, but he saw the pixels from where Clutch God was standing and send the grenade right across, flying, and the last surviving player, Pushparaj, gets pushed from the side of Skylightz Gaming. 8-bit do spot this out. They are able to connect a couple of those shots, but they will not be getting the knock that they wanted, and Skylightz will be surviving for the fight.
Skylightz is surviving. On the other side, you see the side, see TSM Ninja Chord with one more grenade, and trust me, I just see one player with that grenade, and I'm like, okay, this grenade is getting a connection. So it does for the sides of Ninja Chord. One grenade getting connected, another plane going down due to the M416 plays, and that's TSM eliminating one more squads. The sides of Team Entity getting eliminated on the 4th position, and we right now are left with the top 3 teams: Team TSM, Team 8-bit, and Team Skylightz Gaming, whereas TSM has a lower probability of winning this fight. But you know, right? One grenade or one player from this team can turn table around. This team has a potential to do n number of things in this entire match. 12 finishes is what TSM has got for themselves, and I guess they are not letting this delicious chicken dinner go off their hands.
I mean, TSM need to try and pull it off, Darshita, because they are the team which are in the second page. We have not seen them play like that, and they've already won a tournament and become the champions. That's going to be the Sky Esports Mobile Open. So this is going to be a fight of their title, defending it. Yes, not in the same tournament, but at least that they've qualified and directly got an invited slot. So this should be their start. A 2v3 situation is what they have to fight with. Yes, in total a 2v3v3 situation, but they're waiting for their opportunity. You can see TSM have not fired a single bullet. They're letting the side of 8-bit and as well as the side of Skylightz play it out and then find an opportunity. But Ninja Jod a little bit too early, maybe, I guess, but not. It does a little bit of a chip damage. He does spot on new player as he was jumping out of the compound. And look at the immediate knock-in finish coming in from Ninja Jod. From nowhere to somewhere, he'll be sending that player from the side of Skylightz. And Ninja Jod right as now is going to be paying attention to the blue zone. The grenade comes towards his end, but Ninja Jod playing it really smart. Pukar is able to spot him, but he'll not be able to do anything. Gamla Boy will be able to knock, and now Pukar is going to be the last surviving player. Pukar does get the knock, but the circle, the blue zone is going to be start pushing him. It'll do the damage, and he had only one med kit to play with, Darshita.
No heal battle, please. There you go. Pukar is down to the ground as he was just playing in the blues, and that will cause him a lot. But on the other side, Ninja Jod is being revived back to his life. Aquanox with that
Oh!
grenade, and not a problem now. There you go. Riot is down to the ground. He'll be confirmed there and there. But Aquanox, you don't do that. You don't do that. That is done. I am not sure what happened. With a blink of an eye, everything turned around. This map of Miramar, Team TSM getting a winner chicken dinner. Oh my god.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
Mind-boggling play coming in from
exactly.
Ninja Jod. Oh my god. Ninja Jod, take a bow, man. You need to take a bow. I mean, he actually needed to relax over there. That's the reason he's like, wait, I have 5 minutes break. I'm just going to get up and I'm going to just take a walk. I need a, a I would say complete gas can of fresh air. He needs to just breathe over there because that was
Oh
not
my
easy. He
god.
just had a corner to play with. The corner that he had to play with, he took down Gamla Boy, he took down new player. And unfortunate for him, he got knocked from Pukar, but he made use of that corner, immediately backed off, went to his teammate Aquanox, immediately got that revive, and he was ready for the fight. And in between these chaos, he let the side of 8-bit find the last player from the side of Skylightz, and they eliminated the side of Skylightz Gaming. And as you also saw, they also got eliminated to the blue zone coming through and pushing them and doing the damage. So TSM striked right the opportunity that they wanted, and then you saw the grenade, the read coming in. He knew there was a player that was knocked very close to the compound. Aquanox cooked the grenade, immediately tossed it across, and that gave in a confirmation. In the last surviving player, he had very little health. Aquanox jumps along with the call. We, yes, couldn't see Ninja Jot, but Ninja Jot was also playing right around the same corner. He pushed a little bit in the forefront and he immediately finished the last surviving player from 8-bit. I mean, for me, I want to like pinpoint this, display this one after another, mark the lines, and then show our audience as well, because it was not an easy task. Playing around a compound, a grenade could have come your way, maybe a team could have pushed your way, but still holding that edge, playing that out smart was the side of TSM. And I did say this is going to be what they'll be looking forward to take a leap, not only here as a victor, but also in terms of taking a leap to the first page of the overall standings.
Before I say anything, just show me the highlights. I mean, I
True,
just
right?
want, I just want to see what happened there. With a blink of an eye, everything turned around. Just show me that once again. I really want to feel that moment twice of what exactly happened there between, Ninja Jod and his teammate. But what an incredible match it was for the sides of team TSM. They got a victory. They got 15 points. They got chicken dinner, but they got, I mean, almost, I guess, 14 or 15 finishes is what they got for themselves, and that's a huge number, a leap of 30 finish 30 total points is what they have been getting this entire map, and trust me, this can get them to a greater heights. I mean, this is just a start. This is just a start where they have started to go up as much as they can. But yes, I was waiting for the highlights. Thank you so much, production, and for showing them this early. Everything started the fight from TSM. This is where these fights started, where they managed to take down the sides of team Soul completely. On the other sides, team Orangutan, they were looking good. They were going aggressive, but something that went wrong was not a unity gameplay, and that's where things went wrong for them.
Things do go wrong all the time, right? You saw TSM, they lost a couple of players early on. They had a couple of casualties, but still they held strong. They breathed, they waited for the opportunities, and they let the other teams fight out amongst themselves. And you could see here, even the side of Godlike found opportunities, eliminated the side of Celsius. They found another team here, I guess, either the side of Team Mayavi or one more. I'm pretty sure they found before this happened to the side of Godlike out in the open. Yes, it was the side of Skylightz who finished them off, but it started all with this grenade coming in from Pukar, and then there was no chance of Pushparaj, Jonathan, trying to control it because there was just too many players from the side of Skylight's coming in. But this is where Ninja Jot played. Look at this man. I think in total, this man alone had close to 5 finishes that he played with, and he did not stop. 3 finishes. He got one more finish. That was his fourth. He got one more on Gamla Boy. That is going to be his fifth, and maybe here as well. So in total, maybe 6 finishes. Aquanox timed it perfectly. He came in, but Tsunami played it brilliantly. A drop shot coming in. Tsunami also turned around. You saw Ninja Jot, the name popping off at the edge. You saw the player card, but Tsunami, he was not quick enough, and the drop shot was already called coming in from Ninja Jot.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, from Aquanox, and 9 finishes. So in total, there were 15 or 16, but Aquinox himself has pulled off 9 finishes. We were talking about Ninja Jot, but look at this man lurking in the shadows, getting 9 finishes, and the contribution is what I want to talk about here, Darshita. 56%, more than half contribution he has done for his team. More than half. That's not an easy, I would say, platform to pull off. Easy, the benchmark to reach. It's not at all easy for what this man has done.
I do completely agree with you on each and everything. Right now, star of the match, it's just TSM. Aquanox, Ninja Jot. Aquanox for going all out. That's 9 finishes. This man made sure to take players down, but at the same time, he made sure that his players are safe and secure by being the best companion of giving 4 revivals. Ninja Jod on the other side went in for the final elimination, and a total of 6 finishes is what he got for himself. I mean, half of the destruction is what Aquanox and Ninja Jod bought together. Oh my god.
Unbelievable, right?
the
I
the
think
the only reaction we have right now is like, oh my god, what is happening?
I think just like what Ninja Jord just walked away, wanted a breather over there. I think we need that here. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
31
exactly.
total points is what the side of TSM have pulled up. 16 freaking finishes, and they're not looking like they're about to stop. And this is the best part. The teams are looking forward to making a comeback, not in terms of that every team from the last page is jumping up, but these are the champ teams that we were looking forward to playing it out brilliantly, and they started doing it right here. So this does give us that the day two, as I said, the teams which are looking forward to being the champions, holding off their title, will be giving us a show, and this is what the side of Team TSM have bought us and shown us on the map of Miramar. A great winner chicken dinner for them. Following up is going to be the side of 8-bit with 21 total points, 9 finishes for them. The third position team is going to be the side of Skylightz Gaming with 4 finishes, but they survived for a longer time and got themselves the third position, and you can see in total of 14 for them. Godlike will be at the fourth position. I think their last rotation, the buggy that they took, is where they started falling apart, and Skylights found an easy opening to eliminate them. And not only that, Clutch got, I think they went right in front of the sides of the side of Skylights. I think something like that happened and they got eliminated. Entity on the other end, they did start off popping off on the side of TSM. You saw the side of Soul also making certain difficulties for the side of TSM, but the side of TSM, they held off until they could have gotten this winner chicken dinner, played it out smart, found the openings for themselves. Sixth position is going to be the side of Orangutan with 8 points and forever at the seventh. And later on, you could see only a little bit points being done here and there. But this is what I talked about. If the side of team EXO get an opportunity, they're going to be jumping in. But the opportunity that they've gotten here is going to be just 1 point, Darshita. 94 and 95 is what it was, but 96, 1 point is what EXO have gained, and that was enough for them to jump. But I think this is not going to be something that EXO need to be happy about.
Definitely. Right now, they need to be, looking forward to gathering more and more points. 1 point difference, well, yes, they are leading the charts right now, but it's just a 1 point difference. And Team Celsius, with the upcoming map of Mirangle, right? Team Celsius got an upper hand in this map, they got a stronger hand in this map. They can turn the tables around. The third team right now is going to be 8-bit with a total of 81 points. All of this overall standing on the corners, we do have this red and green mark where we can see the ones with the green marks are the team that have really rised on the sides of overall standings. But whereas the red mark showcases alert, I would say, alert that you are falling down, my friend. You have to rise up. You have to get that green mark on yourself. On the other hand, Team Skylightz Gaming with a total of 69 forever. It's gonna be 65 for them. It's an equal number for finish for position points for Skylight's Gaming and Team Forever, whereas the difference is between the number of finishes they have. To the second sides of overall standing, I guess the only two teams that haven't moved a muscle right now will be the sides of Team Entity and Team Velocity.
Mm, of the muzzle. I mean, this is kind of when we talk about consistent plays, right? That
Yeah,
tells
exactly.
us that these teams are able to do it, hold their position, but 15th and the position 11 will not get you anything. You have to understand that if you want to be getting any kind of points or in terms of part of the prize pool, you need to be placing yourselves in top six, at least getting 25,000 for your team, and then maybe you can kind of brag as well that you placed your team in AMD SKYESPORTS Grand Slam in top six, and you will be happy about it. But talking about the entire overall standings right as now, there are a lot of changes. Teams are gaining points, but it is not enough for them to make a jump. We saw the side of Team Nugget. They were in the second position, they have pushed down to the third. Now, right as of now, they've been pushed down to the eighth position. So it is getting difficult for them. But even the side of Chemin, they did look like day one was good for them. But as day one started ended, sorry, as day one came to a conclusion, we saw the last few maps. That's where the side of Chemin started fumbling. Even the side of Team Mayavi, the start was really good on day one, but the last few maps and after that, the entire journey of Team Mayavi has been similar. So they have to start bucking up. As we said, 7 days is going to be the long journey of this AMD Sky Esports Grand Slams Grand Finals. If they want to get and become the champions, every day matters. And yes, maybe some days, just like we saw TSM getting a 30 bomber match here, there might be situations that two matches go to be a 30 bomber match and they just make a leap. And that is going to be maybe on day 6 that happens. What about day 7? You might not be able to perform the similar way again, and that's where teams will start having a downfall. But now we're Erangel coming up again, the classic map. Anything can happen here, Darshita.
Anything can happen, and anything is happening. I mean, everything is going out of our prediction. We as a casters are sitting back and we just I have a thought that yes, this team is looking good on this map. They can make it work into their favor. But what is happening? Our predictions are getting completely denied, and out of nowhere, a new team, a new face is just rising. Yes, we know all these 16 teams to have a great potential. They have a great power of playing that unity gameplay, at the same time playing aggressive, at the same time playing passive. But right now, what is important is the reading of strategies. If you are
Yes.
able to read what your enemies are doing, if you are really sure of the information that you have gathered for yourself and for your team, I guess that's going to be the best thing that you got for your team.
Exactly, I agree with you. It's going to be very crucial on how you read I mean, flight path is a little bit difficult to read, and you do not have a lot of time on how you can think about it. But yes, once the flight path comes, you need to start putting down your plan A, plan B, plan C's, all the roadmaps down, depending on the circle, how the teams will be dropping down, where can you actually expect drop clashes happening. It does not have to be that you have to face off a drop clash. It can be that two teams are going to face off a drop clash, and you just wait for the opportunity. When those two teams finish off the drop clash, you jump in as the third one and reap all the benefits, not in terms of just the finishes, but also the resources that those teams had actually kept to themselves. And talking about that, let's head to the next match itself. It's going to be a match that we will be enjoying very soon, but right as of now, it's going to be the player scam that we'll be seeing, figuring it out how these players are going to be playing it out and getting ready, because everybody, you can see, they are again taking that 5 to 2 minutes break that they get, immediately warming up their fingers, because yes, they do get tired, right? You have to play day long, you have to play close to 6 to 7 hours every match. Ninja Jord is back in action. He's just checking in his thumbs and fingers so that he does not have any bruises, and he needs another chicken dinner for his teammates. Let's see how that works.
Everyone is ready, and so is Arka to join back the English desk. Well, Arka, welcome back to the English desk. I hope you are doing well. And before anything, this map, what predictions do you have with it?
I mean, I don't want to predict until the final moments. Thank you so much for bringing me in. The most crucial thing, which you were speaking about, right? You were like, it's become an unpredictable tournament. I mean, there was a point of time in the first game where we did not expect Team EXO, which was having only 18%, in the win prediction. They had only 18% at one point of time winning that game, and actually they won it. The same story goes with the side of TSM. TSM were also just two men, even they had just 18% of gaining it. And when teams, who have a higher chance of getting that winner when a chicken dinner gets taken down, it's going to be very, very hard for the others to, predict anything. So the final moment, until the final bullet is laid, I don't think so it's going to be easy for us to predict anything. But as of now, so far, I know everybody were in the corners of their seats and they were enjoying what was happening over here. A brand new face coming in from the side of Team EXO and TSM. Like, I know the TSM would love to play the same. That's one of the best lineup they have so far. But Team EXO on the other side, and they are showing their true colors eventually in this tournament.
They definitely are. I mean, yes, they did a great job on one map today, but eventually it's all about consistency, right? It's just you sparkling in one match, or I mean, yes, I completely agree for a fact that you can't be getting n number of chicken dinners or can't be getting continue victories for yourself, but it's just about
Absolutely.
maintaining a position. It's about getting a chicken dinner on one map, but the next match you make sure that you are at least placed in a position of sixth or above.
Absolutely. But at the same time, I love the average being maintained by the top teams.
Yeah.
Consistency is the key in the Battle Royale game. We have been speaking about it. But two teams, EXO and TSM, have also proved one more statement that you need to be at the right time in the right place. Or probably if you have to be in the right place at the right time. And that is what Team EXO and TSM had in their name, because they knew that, this could be the only place the enemies can walk in from. And then that is where the crosshairs were played, and then they played it flawlessly. So consistency being shown by the teams on the top, whereas the teams on the bottom, it's not like they're trying to do their best. There are some surviving players coming in. Let's take Forever Team Forever, for instance. There was a game which went so well for them. The first game, it looked like, they were the team who could have acquired, because they had all four men standing, and suddenly one after the other, as always, we can see them, they get extinguished as soon as a player goes away. So I do believe that, this is the time where we can expect the teams on the bottom to actually play well, as they would have read and see the stream by now, and they would have read the movements of EXO and TSM.
I do completely agree with that. And I do believe that that is going to happen. We
Yep.
always say that the middle days of the tournaments happening is a day of comeback. And
Yep.
yes, we just saw that happening the previous tournaments as well, the previous days as well. So, yes, I am really high on hopes that we may see these teams down in the list coming up. But right now, what I have in my mind is the teams that are already up, that are already leading the charts, are running
Yep.
away. We do see one
Absolutely.
single point difference between two teams, or maybe a 10 points difference directly that we have between the next two teams. But what's happening is few teams are running away. Few faces that are coming new are trying to tackle up as much as they can, but the teams that are running low on points are still behind, and they just are waiting for that one specific match that can completely boost up their momentum, boost up their confidence.
Absolutely. And one more most important thing for us to observe is how Celsius is not able to maintain the temperature in the game.
Yes.
The first day it looks like they could boil through any team in front of them, but the second day seems to be, a little cold for them. They're not able to find the right kind of momentum, even though they are a team who are performing consistently. It's the consistency is not big enough that they can maintain the top spot. So EXO would have crossed them by 1 point. That could have been a wake up call for Celsius, because by the end of first 2 3 days, if you put up a good number and you're in the top spot, it's going to be easy for you to maintain that and at least come into the top 3 by the end of the tournament if you're not doing too much of a hard work. But if you're giving your 100% and staying on the top, I do believe they have a very good chance. But let's not forget what's happening with the side of Team Orangutan, the table toppers when it comes to the previous one in the semifinals. And we can see that this is the team suffering because of placement points, and that is a little bit of a shocker for me, because they were really good at placing themselves in the semifinals, but in the finals the professional teams are actually stopping them.
I do completely agree with that. But with this, with all the discussions being done, we are all set for the next map of Erangel, and the fly path is being refueled. The players are looking forward to a, I mean, it's a decent fly path, right? It's a complete decent fly path where these players get a good opportunity of going wherever they want, their primary drop locations basically, and just wait for the very first play zone to come in.
Absolutely. Now we have seen that, from in the finales also, it looks like the zone is actually playing around with our emotions. It's playing around with the players as well. But for now, the drop locations is something which we have to watch out for. If there is going to be some clashes in few of these places, that is when we can expect the game to go even more intense. As we can see towards the side of Georgia Pole, I can see more than two teams probably coming in over there. I can see TSM and Team Nuggets going in, if I'm not wrong. And oh yeah, just two teams coming in. The northern side of the map still seems to be an open field for me. Nobody chooses to go to shooting range or Zarki or probably Kameshki or Stolba. So all such places are still vacant for teams to, who can do a different kind of a rotation, do a different kind of a drop location if things are not going their way.
I do agree with that. On all these being said and done, I just have my eyes on the sides of Team Soul right now. Look at
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Between Georgiapool and Primox, they have found themselves really comfortable on this huge split they are having right now. This split
Absolutely.
can look good for them, but what if the sides of Team TSM come out of nowhere? What if the sides of Team 8-bit go further? It can cause a lot of problems for one single player, and that is something that they need to be really careful about. Talking more about drop clashes there in military base, once again, it's going to be a fight happening, and if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Velocity and Chemin fighting. But at the other sides, as I was talking about teams, so look at them. Each and every player is holding one small compound and just looking forward to vehicles as much as he can.
Absolutely. Now, pistols are coming into play. We can see that SMGs are coming into play without any helmet and vest. Now, crosshairs is going to be something to watch out for, because we all know that's the most important thing. GodL on the other side, they have second thoughts. Pushparaj wants to go in style into any fight, or probably wants to get in style when it wants to loot as well. But VLT versus Chemin, I'm looking forward for this fight, because ultimately these are the teams who have not played before when it comes to the semis. So they'll be looking forward to dominate as much as possible. So we can expect something unique coming in from the game. But ultimately, about Soul, which you want to spoke, which you spoke about, is a very very valid point. TSM have a tendency to rotate towards the southern side of that Georgia pole. They might get caught over.
They might get caught over there, but right now Delta PG is caught into a different location by Slayer, and with that M249, Slayer is trying to take him down. But Delta PG, well, he'll just find a small artificial cover to work around with, and he will be managing to work with that inner wall covers. Right now, finding himself really safe and secure. But on the other sides, 420 OP and all these players of Chemin Esports, I'm finding them without any kinds of helmet and armor, and that is something that they need to be careful about. But look at that grenade. Be careful of that grenade.
Oh, nice!
Atanki goes down. Destro with that shotgun. Can he make any change? Team Chemin Esports got one on the sides of Team Velocity, but what is next? Destro trying to be aggressive with that shotgun, but Slayer has to depart there. Velocity Gaming, the Sheath will be taking one Destro, but he will be confirming two there and there. A big mistake after one good nade is not something that you do at this point of time.
Absolutely, but at the same time, the clash came in towards the door. Teammates started to collide with one another when they were expecting
Exactly.
go in for a jiggle, and that is something that shows that the team is slowly losing a bit of a synergy, and that is why they have to face such a game now. Papa trying to push in. Probably he wants to show who the dad is at this point of time. He's going to confirm the players on the knee, and now push forward to see how much of kills can they pick up. Now VLT on the other side is pretty much damaged, as we can see. Daljit as well as Kratos, both of them do not have medkits to work around with, so it'll be a very good time for the opponents to push against them. Chemin and Papa, I mean, this team can actually decimate the side of VLT, but Daljit on the other side could be that player who can actually do the damage, because we saw he has already got 2 finishes. He did the hard work. Now can he do 2 more is going to be the bigger question.
A question is what we all have, but the answer, or I guess the Daljit is the only guy who can answer all this question. And right now he is just looking forward to have his hands on something more, some more utilities, some more health kits, and that's going to be the most important part. Kratos really low on HP. Even one or two bullet shots landing onto his head is something that can cause a problem. But right now both these teams have decided to go away from each other and find themselves something really good to be working around with. But with that, we have one question onto our screens. Does changing players in team disturbs the team synergy, and how much training ground improves gameplay? Okay, if you ask me this, team changing players will disturb the synergy. I mean, you are habitual of playing with a certain team, and one certain player has one style of playing, right? Each player is different in the play style that they prefer, and eventually in a teamwork, each and every player matters. Each and every player's gameplays matter the most, and that's why, yes, changing in players disturbs the synergy. And well, talking about the
I
training
mean,
ground,
yep.
I mean, I want you to answer this, Alka.
Yeah, the training ground obviously is going to help your crosshairs, right? So you have some dolls over there which have their heads written over there. So the target practice where you can practice and make sure that your crosshair always goes to the head and not anywhere else. That is the most important thing. And you can't do that, when you're playing a game. You can't practice that in a game. So you have to go to a training ground, understand how to do it. Your thumbs need to warm up when you have to go for a jiggle, or probably go in for a duck or something like that. So training ground does help a lot. But one more point, which I felt like answering was the first question. Does changing player, affect the team? It might or might not, because I know that Darshita, the point you told was absolutely correct, but just imagine the role play is given to each of these players. So you have an
Yeah,
assaulter
yeah.
and you change an assaulter. I don't think so it's not going to affect that much. But when you replace an assaulter with a supporter where you already have a support in your team, that is when it can become a little bit of a problem. So the initiation kills coming in from any team could be a little bit of a problem. All these things said and done, I think our answers would have satisfied your thirst for answers. For now, we'll be looking at this love story which is still not ended. VLT versus Chemin at the side of military base.
A love story that is not ending, but someone has to put an end on that, right? On the other side, you have
Oh,
side
expected.
TSM and Soul getting into a fight. Well, one player, Soul player 3, is down to the ground. And if I'm not wrong, the previous match we saw these teams fighting it out once again. The G really low on HP, needs to something, but I guess that's nothing that he'll be having. And Team Chemin Esports will be successfully eliminating the sides of Team Velocity after taking 2 casualties on themselves. On the other side, you talk about the sides of Team Soul. They are running low on one player, the other player is down to the ground. Akshat has been caught into a different position. He will be eliminated there completely, and this is why Team Soul, I mean Team Soul, the players are just falling down like dominoes, and that's done. Team TSM, after
Absolutely.
getting that victory, is just looking so aggressive. Within just few seconds, they eliminated the sides of one team completely.
Absolutely. But one more thing we have to remember is that Team Forever came in for a third party. They have picked up a kill of Soul as well. So if this team hadn't come in, they could have had a fighting chance. But Soul on the other side will be really disappointed with their rotation. But at the same time, as we were speaking about it, right? So when you're dropping in between 2 different teams, either you choose to go for an early rotation or you wait for somebody to come towards you and make a mistake. So Soul on the other side was expecting that nobody's going to probably, go in for a clash with them. But every time you get taken down in an open, we have been speaking about this in the beginning. If you have a fight in the open, the chances of you getting third parties more than 50%, and that could be a problem for you. And this is proved in this instance itself, that Soul is going to go down with no kills in the name, where VLT on the other side have done a little bit of a job.
Well, I do completely agree with that. On the other side, we do have one more question. Why do you think Indian teams try to follow all the international esports culture, except gameplay and game sense? Well, a very interesting question that
Yep.
we have. But see, right now we know the focus, right? Right now we know the reason of these teams trying to fight it out so hard. We know the reason, and okay, talking more about the
Oh,
fights, I will
nice.
get back to that question, but the fight seems to be really, really interesting right now. GodL getting into a fight, Clutch God is down to the ground, Spray God will be departing there, and their Pushparaj will be trying his level best to take Priya down, but the cover fires from Prince is something that is really getting the sides of Team GodL into a difficulty. But right now, the sides of Team 7C Prince needs to run for his life, make a run as far as possible. As you can see, Godlike is not stopping. Clutch God, he is down to the ground. I guess, yes, Clutch God is down to the ground. The teammates needs to revive him back to his life, and I guess that will be done as soon as possible.
Absolutely, but the backup, the quickness of these teams coming for one another when it comes to a backup is really, really commendable. 7C's on the other side is going to cross paths with Entity at this point of time, and both of them do not choose to go against one another. But Celsius on the other side is going to try and check whether they have the right kind of temperature to go against the gods. But Pushparaj has put a player down. Now we all know what this person wants to do: put a player down, take a rotation, try to get someone else in the crosshairs, and again take them out as well. So GodL on this point of time, they are having an upper hand when it comes to the man advantage. Now the push is going to be inevitable coming in from their side. Pushparaj is pushing his luck too much is what I would like to say. Celsius Max is right in front of him. This is the point where Celsius can actually strike against the side of GodL, and they've done it exactly as they take down Neo. Now this is going to build pressure towards the side of GodL. Now I know that Jonathan would want to boost up and then rush in, but the equation is equal right now between these two teams.
Equation is equal, but out of all this happening, Team TSM on the other side is just set to take one more fight. This side of TSM is the most aggressive side that I have been ever witnessing. Focusing more on the fight that's going on screen, there's going to be Pushparaj trying to go in for some smokes, but well, he will be just locating himself, compromising himself completely, and so is for the sides of GodL Neo. They need to patch themselves up completely. Right now, Team Celsius, they are hungry for a victory. They haven't got anything so far in today's day, and if eventually they don't get anything right now, it can cause a lot of problems. So yes, Team Celsius right now is completely hungry for finishes, completely hungry, and they are just trying to go as much far as possible. On the other side, you look at Team Godlike, one player going behind, two players going behind, and two players waiting at the front is the strategy they have been using.
Absolutely. Now, the most important thing is going to be this. Will Johnny, Pushparaj, aka Johnny, will he be able to, do something special over here? Because, right, we all know that he gave that initiation. It's just that he had to wait for his teammates to come in. Now, this kind of sensible Johnny we have not seen in a really long time, because he tends to take players down and immediately rush in. On the other side, it's going to be 8-bit, going to pay the price. He was not looking out for his left, and eventually OGs were able to come in and strike at the right time. 8-bit is going to lose more players. Their aggression is not working towards their favor. Now we have to see whether they'll be able to survive, as the zone probably would shift towards the side of Ferry yet again. And if yes, absolutely, it's going to go towards the side of Ferry, and this time we have to see whether Celsius will be able to gatekeep somebody, or will they try to come in through the waters. Team EXO have already come in for an early rotation. We can see Enigma has also come into the picture. Now the point is going to be for those teams who will be making late inside the circle. They're going to be welcome with a lot of lead.
They will have to pay for their late rotations, but on the other side, right now, Sarang is down to the ground, and Prince is going to be the last surviving player. Eggy, this grenade, if it is pinpoint precise, can make a lot of changes.
Oh,
but
Prince
is
in a
trying
trouble.
to survive. But there you go, that's done and dusted for the sides of Team 7C Prince, and it was Evo Edley, if I'm not wrong, to take him down. On the other side, you have the sides of Team Nugget getting into a fight. Okay, well, that's one player really running low on his HP, but Team Nugget have already lost one of their player and gained 3 finishes for themselves. They need to be careful of not losing any player and getting something for themselves. That is the main focus that these teams to have right now. But Pro is finding himself in the line of fires completely, and he is down to the ground. Right now, Bacha has the main focus on reviving his teammate back rather than going in for any kind of fight. But out of all these being said and done, the players of TSM are falling down, and this is something really shocking for me.
Absolutely, as we spoke that during the time of the match being prepared, we saw that the we expected that the teams on the bottom can perform much better, and we can see that GodL have picked up the pace. They're not stopping, they're just rushing as a pack of wolves. They want to pick up as many players as possible. OAS, this one man, this lone man, we have seen him do that before in the semis. If he's alive, he can take the whole team into the top 4 very easily. And it looks like he's gonna be playing for placement points. There's another team right behind him. His teammate again gets taken on. That's gonna be Max Kash. Might be confirmed at this point of time. And the last ray of hope for the side of Team Forever is gonna be OS Bolte. Now, the most important thing for us to see is going to be which team is going to have the hard cover when it comes to this side of the ground, because having hard cover in the map of Erangel always gives you an opportunity for the winner chicken dinner. So which team do you really think, Darshita, will have the right position to hold when it comes to this part of the map?
If you ask me this, I find the sides of Team Enigma right now looking good. Look at their position. They have an inner wall cover to work around, but I am not completely sure for the fact that do they have the play zone with themselves.
Oh, sniper.
There's... Oh, okay. Thank you once again for that sniper connection. But there you go. Once again, I'm just waiting for one pixel of the head to be visible and just popped off at any moment. Team Godlike with 3 finishes, they are looking good. But for how much long is going to be the question. The blue is arriving. The blues are arriving. The play zone is all set, and there you go. As I was talking about the inner wall covers, you see the sides of Team Enigma, Team EXO playing around those inner wall covers, but not for a longer period of time, as the play zone decides to deny all that I say and just go off the sides of Team Enigma.
Absolutely. Now it looks like Celsius have got the right spot, and we all know where GodL would want to end up, towards the side of Team Mayavi. We have seen them. They love that ridge area, right at the coast of the river, and that is where they would want to, surrender themselves and make sure that they don't get into the crosshairs of anybody. Entity on the other side also have a very good cover for themselves. Neo is trying to rush in. Yeah, Enigma, very good thought of going in for an early rotation inside the circle. Probably want to get into the dunes as we speak about, right next to the river. Even if they are able to do so, it's going to be much more easier for them. But Team Nuggets on the other side, after losing a player, it looks like they've been tagged at this point of time. Chances of them getting taken down, and it looks like one player is already down, and Enigma from far away is still doing the job. Now GodL on the other side have taken down the side of Skylightz Gaming. So this game is turning out to be more intense than ever. Pushparaj at this point of time in the crosses of Entity, tries to run away, putting up the right kind of smoke, but ultimately a rush comes in from nowhere. Clutch got the right kind of cover, comes in from their side. GodL, as always, holding off each other's back. If this continues, GodL can be the champions of this tournament.
They can be, but right now each and every team is looking forward to get that title of AMD SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM written on their name. Talking more about the sides of Team Godlike, right now they are running really low on one player. It's one player, Pushpraj, OP, done and dusted, and the 3 players left will be Clutch God, Gil, and Neo. But for a longer period of time will Clutch God be able to survive. Skylightz Gaming new player, make sure to spot him, take him down, and complete him, eliminate him completely there and there. On to the sides, you talk about the team of Team EXO. They got one for themselves, and right now they are just focusing on taking more and more. Evo Italy is being caught into a different location there with the rooftop. The player has been holding from the sides of Team EXO. He is trying his level best to provide as much damage as he can, but Godlike, it's the last surviving player, Gil, the last hope, and the player with n number of responsibilities on his shoulders.
Absolutely. Now we saw that, Saggy on the other side, or someone from the side of Enigma, did fall off from that ridge into the waters, which became a problem for them. And this is not the first time we have to witness this. It's gonna be the side of Skylightz Gaming always taking down the side of GodL, and that is something which we have to look out for. I don't know how they'll be able to equate it exactly like that. GodL Gil on the other side will be in the crosshairs of the GE, and they're gonna make sure to eliminate them completely. A lot of doorbells are running around between two sides. It's gonna be OGs versus the side of Skylightz Gaming. We have to see how well they'll be able to execute this, as Gamla Boy is gonna put up and give the right kind of opening. A push comes in with that UMP. They know where trigger is. They're gonna land it in those pixels and make sure they eliminate another squad and have more than 8 kills in the name. This team, Skylightz Gaming, have spread around their wings in the map of Wrangle, and let's see whether they'll be able to fly out with that winner chicken dinner.
Gaming did a fantastic job, but out of nowhere, reading the kill field, I realized that it was somewhere the sides of Team NTT enjoying the party and taking one or two finishes. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but reading the finish bit, that was something that I really got to understand. On the other side, you talk about Team Mayavi. Look at Manya right now. He is waiting. He is waiting at that position, and he is not just doing anything. On the other side, you talk about Oasis Bolte and Juicy. They are just being a complete fish right now and swimming around the waters, but not for a longer period of time, as the play zone completely decides to shift towards the teams of Celsius. Okay, that's going to be the sides of Team Celsius. On to the 9 team, Chemin Esports getting eliminated. That's top 9 team with 24 alive players is all that we got. And right now, these edges is something that everyone is looking forward to.
Absolutely. Now, let's not forget that one player of Team Mayavi is still planning to play those lurking snake. We spoke about Oasis, if you remember, that this one man can actually take the team into the top 4, and he'll be looking forward to do it as the lone man standing. He's into the water, somehow made it across this battlefield and made sure he reaches the other end. All these things said and done, it's good to see that there are 2-3 teams who still have 4 men standing. GE will be one of those teams. Team Mayavi will be one of those teams, I'm so sorry. And then we have the side of Team EXO with 4 men, the Entity with 4 men, Team Mayavi with 3 men. And we have to see whether this 4-man squad can actually do it, as Skylightz Gaming right now is having been attacked with 8 finish points already in their name. They'll be looking forward to decimate another squad which is going to pass in front of them.
Right now, Ninja Joy. Look at this man. Look at this man. In the blues, he was trying to move as far away as possible with that buggy, but eventually he gets caught there and gets punished for playing in the blues by the players, and that's going to be done and dusted for the sides of Team TSM getting eliminated on the 9th position. On the other sides, you talk about Team Celsius. They got nothing right now. They got 0 finishes for themselves, but eventually, with the zone favoring them, they can make it happen. They can make it work in their favors. They can eventually convert this map into a chicken dinner that they have been waiting for such a long time. On the other side, you talk about Team Skylightz Gaming. After losing one, okay, they haven't lost anything but gained 9 amazing finishes. Manya falling down. No, my friend, no, you don't do that. Manya falling down off that bridge will cause him a lot, and eventually Pukar will be confirming one more for his entire team, and that's 2-digit mark touch for the sides of Team Skylightz Gaming, looking real aggressive. But out of all this, Oasis Bolte is down in the waters, waiting patiently, but is losing his health.
I don't think so he's going to lose much of his health, because the action is happening at the other side, so that gives him an opportunity to come up and take a breather. And all these things said and done, now Entity in this crosshairs of Skylightz Gaming, which is looking the strongest so far. They are doing their best. Now, I know that Team EXO versus Skylightz Gaming is pretty much inevitable, but for me, the most important thing is going to be this. After this, when the circle shifts away from this point, that is when we have to see the difference of which team will have to make it inside the circle. It looks like all the teams will have to make it inside the circle. OS is still not coming into anybody's crosses, whereas Juicy had come in and eventually he hid himself. So 2 teams in the waters will be trying to play for, healing capability, or probably playing for placement points. Nobody's going to try and touch them, and they know that it's just going to waste their resources. Celsius on the other side, having the best spot in the house that we have spoken about, now will have to move into the circle and make sure that they have control of it as well. OS Bolte on the other side, he knows that he can't get into that circle right now, because in case he does, he might get taken down. Gamla Boy on the other side is cooking smokes to make sure he covers the view of the enemies, but at the same time is also losing view towards the side of OS as well as it.
To completely agree with that. On this side, you talk about Team EXO. Right now, 3-on-3 surviving players with 2 finishes is what they got. But the most aggressive team, if you ask me, in this map, it's going to be Skylightz Gaming with all surviving players. Exactly. All surviving players and 11 finishes. They got so much and they lost nothing in return of that. Is something that each and every team needs to look forward to. EXO, they got 2 for themselves. They lost 1 of their players. Entity, they got 1 for themselves without losing any kinds of players. But what did just happen? The sides of Team Entity decided to completely eliminate the sides of Team Mayavi, and that's going to be Team Mayavi getting eliminated in just 1 second period. But EXO Snacks, what is happening. The snacks in that vehicle is just waiting in all those smokes and not just moving a muscle right there. Fierce is down to the ground, but Apollo will be taking him completely. Punk is the last hope, the last Triopo for the sides of Team EXO. If he is done, it's going to be Team EXO getting eliminated there and there.
Absolutely. Now, with the vehicles, they are pushed in. They want to make sure that they have the right kind of hard cover so that they don't get eliminated. Skylightz Gaming on the other side have understood that the location of Team EXO is pretty much visible in front of them. Team Entity, this is the first time in the final circle we are able to see that, there are few teams who have more than 3 players standing and they have an higher chance. OS Bolte versus Juicy. This fight can also take place over here. Now, Juicy's location probably will be coming into the crosshairs of the side of OS. Now, we have to see between those two who will be surviving to get that 5th position. Entry Toy tries to push in, and due to which he had to pay the price for it. Now Darklaw tries to come out in the open, and we all know that it's important for you to not wake up, give your pixels, and you might get taken down. Skylightz Gaming on the losing end for now. I know very soon they will be able to pick up one another. Juicy have understood the location of OS Bolt at this point of time. That is why he's waiting for him to come out in the open so that he can execute that kill. Probably OS also knows where Juicy 8-bit is, and that's why he's going to push in with that mini. Let's see who's going to be surviving in the waters at this point of time. As he pushes in, Juicy comes out in the open and will be able to find him with no HP left out. I don't know how he pulled that off, but ultimately OS Bolte would have got a better placement. He brought his team into the top 6. I think he's done a good job.
He tried his level best, but eventually he has to satisfy himself with the 6th position he got for his entire team. Top 5 teams that we have right now with 15 alive players. Team Entity looking really good with 4-on-4 surviving players. So is for the sides of Team Celsius. Team Skylightz Gaming, yes, they can be 4-on-4 surviving players, and the only reason I say can is because 2 players are down to the ground and they, if get revived back to their life, eventually this can work in their favor, and that's the only reason these 3 teams have 26.67 winning prediction, whereas EXO got 13.33 and 8-bit, that's just one last surviving player, Juicy, got 6.67% of winning. Right now, when you talk about the play zone, I guess one team is out there. Team Entity is out of the zone, but Skylightz Gaming, they are finding themselves a great position. They have revived their players back to their life, and once again, there you go, Team Skylightz Gaming looking good with 4-on-4 surviving player. But Juicy, what is the next step that he will be taking? Yes, I completely understand for a fact that he is in the favor of play zone right now, but what if the next zone doesn't accompany him? What if the next zone is something that is not working into his favor?
I don't know how that is going to turn out. We have seen teams with just 13 to 18 points actually securing the winner chicken dinner for themselves. So he also got some loot coming in from the side of OS Bolte. So if he's got the right kind of medkits in his name, I do believe that he can go in for a heal battle and probably get the 2nd or the 3rd position. Team EXO on the other side comes out in the open. They were the first team to reveal their location. That's why they get eliminated. Now Skylightz Gaming is still getting assaulted by the side of Team Entity. Now I know that Celsius on the other side is just watching these 2 teams assault one another, and any second soon we can expect them to pour lead on the side of Team Entity, but ultimately Dreams is going to be visible as well. Darklaw will be the last man standing for the side of Team Entity. Shots have been going against him. Skylightz Gaming still have an old foeman standing, and 13 finishes is what they've got. Entity is going to be erased from the side of Celsius. Now the final 2 teams, 44% equally going in from these 2 players. Now Skylightz Gaming have done the damage and also taken the damage from their side, so Celsius will be looking forward to pick up their player, but throwables is going to be the most crucial thing in this circle.
The most important thing, one grenade that pops out on your face can destroy everything for you. Pukar out right now will be going in for 3 grenades, and there you go, Pukar will be connecting one or Dreams. He will be confirming him there and there. Celsius Max is down to the ground because of that grenade. He will be confirming that. Oh my god, Skylightz Gaming, what are you eventually up to? 2 finishes is what they got themselves, and right now Team Celsius is not able to do anything. Somraj is just looking forward to take one move there. It's a 1v1 situation, but Somraj has to depart down there. He will be punished for the aggression he holds right now, and Team Skylightz Gaming running low on players. Apollo is spot there. He is down to the ground. Pukar manages to take him down. Wixie is the last surviving player, the last hope. And on the other hand, 8-bit Juicy is the last hope for his entire team. I do feel like Juicy can turn table around for the sides of Skylightz Gaming with the upcoming grenade, but I am not sure of what he is exactly up to. Wixie is being caught into a different location. 3-on-3 surviving players trying to aggress as much as they can with that Groza. He's trying to take at least one round, manages to take one on Gamla Boy. New player Pukar two players standing right in front of him. Gamla Boy being eliminated completely, but right now Skylight's Gaming
Oh,
is
nice!
falling down out of play zone. This is not happening. Celsius Mixie, will this man be able to walk? No!
Oh,
Oh my
Juicy!
god! That grenade from Juicy was strong enough to take one player down, but Skylight's Gaming get their winner chicken dinner. Oh my god, what is this map? How did the what did just happen here?
I was expecting Juicy to throw that grenade, but not towards the side of Team 8-bit, right? Just imagine if 8-bit was able to find the land the final blow towards the side of Skylightz Gaming, and then GodL Juicy was able to put that grenade and get that winner chicken dinner. That could have been one of the best ever dinners I would have ever seen in this game. But ultimately, what a gameplay coming in over there. It's important for you to survive until the end, and you'll get an opportunity to go in and grab that dinner. And today, Juicy has proved to us, I at least expected Juicy to cook a grenade against the side of Skylight. I mean, against the side of Celsius. I was expecting him a very, very beautiful gameplay coming in from his side. From behind the, drop, the way he was able to peek with that Groza, we all know the iron side of Groza is actually the quickest when you use it and you open the scope. And the way he was able to take down the side of Skylightz Gaming was really commendable. And if he had allowed, I don't want to speak anything more. If 8-bit had allowed them, 8-bit could have got this.
What a match it has been. Skylightz Gaming, Celsius, and Team 8-bit. Juicy, yes, for a fact, I was sure that this man is going to do something that is just going to put us into a bit of shocking moments. But
Yep.
this is not something that I expected. I mean, yes, Skylightz Gaming was right in front of him, but what did he do? He just cooked that grenade right in the face of Celsius. He eliminated them, and that was the time when he just compromised himself. He located himself. This could be a match for 8-bit. Juicy, my friend, you did your level best, and the way you did it was pretty amazing to watch. We as a casters, I was literally standing on my chair. I was just jumping on my chair. I was like, what is going to happen? Skylightz Gaming were getting hit back by the Blues. They were getting hit back by the Blue zone there. One player was down already. Kamla Boy was confirmed. The second player was down to the ground. And eventually the third player, I just was about to say that he may go down to the ground. But Juicy out of nowhere turned all the tables around.
Absolutely. Now, the most important thing for me is going to be Skylightz Gaming. They'll have to leave a message to 8-bit Juicy and thank him. They were literally getting decimated. And then eventually we are able to see that, 8-bit does wonders. If he had not cooked a grenade on the final moments, and if he had a gun in his hand, placed the crosshair towards the side of Skylightz Gaming, even in the final second, I think 8-bit could have secured that, and it looked like, the chicken dinner would have been handed over towards the side of Team 8-bit from the side of Skylightz Gaming. All these things said, and 3 different games, 3 different strategies coming in. It's important for everybody to understand this, that you need to be at the right time, at the right place. So we saw that 8-bit Juicy was in the right time at the right place, and he was able to execute some wonders.
I do completely agree with you. With all these being said, I wish the highlights are on our screens at any moment. I mean, this map of Erangel was something that we didn't expect it to be so aggressive. With the fly path coming in, we just thought that yes, these teams to get an opportunity to go to their primary drop location and just wait until the next zone shift come in. But how things started, I guess I just told a while ago about the sides of Team Soul. The split that this team was holding was something that I am yet not able to conclude on what exactly happened there. 4-on-4 players were holding different locations. They were really far away from each other, and they were isolating. As a team, they were far away from themselves, but as an individual player, they had isolated themselves into different position, and they were stuck between 4 different teams.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Now, the most important thing for us to see is this: that two players, especially one is OS Bolte and one is Juicy. They were the only people to think out of the box. Now, many people say that why do you have to go for a heal battle? Why don't you try to acquire some kills for yourself? Now, this question is completely answered over here. It's important for you to survive until the end, and probably one good grenade can actually give you a very good chicken dinner for yourself. So that is one thing. And the second most important thing: this is the third time which is proved to us that in the finals, especially, no matter how much manpower you have in the final circle, it's not going to be of good use, because the first game EXO had just 2 players standing, second game TSM had just 2 players standing, and in the final game we had just 1 player standing. In case it had gone against the side of Skylightz Gaming, I think 1 player would have done the job for the team. So it's important for you to survive until then. No matter how many people, probably you'll have a very good chance.
I do completely agree with that. Your players, I mean, we talk about these fights, we talk about rotations, we talk about
Yep.
each and everything, but the only point that's there are specific small points that we are not able to talk about, the heel battles happening, or the players being so passive, they're not moving a muscle, they're just being down to their belly. There are so many things happening all over, but with this map of Erangel being concluded at such a great note, I really feel like the upcoming map of Miramar, yes, the next map is going to be the map of Miramar, will cause a lot more of troubles for these teams. The previous map we saw team TSM with n good number of finishes. I guess it was 16 finishes for the sides of team TSM, and right now Skylightz Gaming has crossed the number of 15, and I guess it's somewhere like 15 or 16 finishes for them if I'm not wrong.
Probably, because at one point of time, 3 of their players got taken down. I don't know how many kills they were able to steal in the final circle. But at the same time, let's not forget, when it comes to the map of Miramar, Team Entity is the name which we need to remember, because in the semifinals, we saw how well they have executed their gameplay when it comes to the map of Miramar. Let's not forget that in the map of Miramar, the most important thing for you to do is make sure that you have your crosshairs perfectly set. If you don't have your crosshairs set in that horizon, if you don't have your crosshairs set, I don't think so it's going to be easy for you. But for now, the star of the match in the previous game is going to be Skylightz Puka, with 8 finishes coming in from him, a bonus of 3, 1,000 damage being done. I think he deserves this position. At the same time, final elimination was also come in from the same player. A finisher was the title he got, with 1 assist coming in. The total distance travel is not going to matter much, as the survival time, he was the last man standing.
Made sure to be aggressive, not overall in the match, but till the end. Till the last breath he had, he made sure to take as much as he can, and eventually what he got rewarded with that delicious chicken dinner that the entire team of Skylightz Gaming needed. Well, Gamla boy, for the best companion, that's 8 revival that he provided.
Oh,
Man,
exactly.
oh
Highest.
man, highest okay, highest revival, well, yes, but highest finishes is even what I can tell. Skylightz Gaming with 17 finishes and 15 position points, a total of 32. Oh my god, what a damage this team has done.
Yes, it looks like they've spread their wings perfectly around the map of Erangel, hugged it really tight, and scooped away that winner chicken dinner for themselves. So 32 total points for them. That is going to be a very big leap when it comes to the overall points table. As Celsius Esports on the other side was able to, maintain the right kind of temperature, due to which they've got 10 finishes with a total of 20 points. I don't think so they were positioned in a very good... yeah, they were the team surviving, right, in the final moment. So obviously, 10 finishes what they've got. Team 8-bit, thanks to one last man, surviving in the bottom, making sure he lands the grenade perfectly. Picking that up was a very good one. Team Entity on the other side, if somebody has to get a reward for the amount of damage that produced, I think it'll go to Team Entity, because the number of times they put down the side of Skylightz Gaming, that was really good. After that was EXO, and so on, as we are going to look at the overall points table, as Celsius Esports is going to build up the temperature, put more points than expected, and go to a total of 115 points.
3-digit mark. A century is what we have on our screen. Celsius with a total of 115 leading the charts. Team EXO, they got a chicken dinner for themselves, but again, with the overall point standing, they got 104 for themselves. That is really running low on points. I guess the previous match, it was 1 single point or 2 single point difference that these teams had, but right now it's a huge gap that Team Celsius has got themselves for. Skylightz Gaming, what a bounce these team has got. From, I guess, down, they were standing somewhere down with 1 chicken dinner into their account. Right now, they are looking really good. 45 finishes, 56 position points, and 2 chicken dinners. That's a total of 101 that they got for themselves. So basically, all the top 3 teams that we have right now got 2 chicken dinners for themselves, but Celsius is really looking good on the position points itself.
I really love the way this game is turning out to be, but the teams on the bottom have to be concerned, as they are holding the same position which they were holding the previous time. And let's not forget that the stronger teams, have fought really hard in this game as well. Team Nuggets on the other side, they're also going to drop down as Entity and Chemin Esports in the previous game was performing much better. Seven Seas is also going to be dropping down from here on. If you have any more red arrows, that is going to be the time where you have to wake up, because the earlier you strike, the better it is for you. So ultimately, we have to see which team will be able to strike properly. But yep, one thing is for sure, the teams which is actually playing for placement points and then going in for finishes are the teams on the top. So that is why they're able to hold the top position.
I do completely agree with you. The teams right now from the 13th to 16th position, I mean, they have done something. I'm just saying they have done really great to rackle up 30 to 50 points for themselves, but they need to focus as the century has been crossed by the teams leading the chart. And if eventually they are not able to do that, the next matches or the next 2 days, it can really get them into a difficult spot. Some teams have just gathered n number of points for themselves, like Team Entity, Team Chemin Esports. You see them with a green mark that showcases that yes, this team has got themselves some good points. They have come up with points, but the team with red marks, they need to strategize on what can be done. Team 7C, I guess, yeah, they got one chicken dinner for themselves, but what next? After playing 9 matches, after getting one victory, still waiting on the 12th position is not something we do expect from such aggressive teams like Team 7C.
I really want to see what next is going to be for the teams
Yeah,
on the
sure.
bottom, because I know that they'll be looking for a redemption. They'll be looking to come back very hard. We have seen how Team Mayavi is really good at coming back. We've seen how GodL is by the name, by the kind of fan following. We know that this team is able to come back any given point of time. We saw how aggressive they were, right? So some point of time when the rotation goes wrong, especially when Johnny gets taken down, Pushparar gets taken down, that is when the team is looking a little weak. But ultimately, yes, one surviving player at the end couldn't do anything much. But for until now, let's see how many chicken dinners and which all teams have taken it. Its first one went into the name of Team EXO. The second one went into the team of Team TSM. The third one, which had to go in someone else's name, was slowly blessed towards the side of Skylightz Gaming.
Skylightz Gaming. Oh my god. The previous match of Erangel, what a match it was. I'm still not, able to get out of those things that happened in this map of Erangel. But yes, we need to focus on the next match. Even that's going to be the match of Miramar. We always say that this match is something that gets player a much needed victory with n number of finishes, as TSM did in the previous match of Miramar. But eventually, even one small mistake in this map can cause you a lot.
Absolutely. Now, three different maps is going to be coming in next. So, I really want to see how the strategy is going to change to every single map. All this time, they knew that they had to come back to the previous strategy of going into Erangel. Now, Erangel is a long way ahead. So, next is going to be Miramar, and then there's going to be Sanok. A big map to a very small map. We can expect somebody to actually, those people who are really good at controlling the recoil in the map of Miramar can actually do wonders when it comes to the map of Sandhawk. But again, when they have to step back into the map of Erangel, so three different strategies. I want to see which is the team which will be doing consistently well in all these three maps, because that is when we're going to have a better picture into the overall points table, and this is the time for the teams on the bottom to wake up.
It's the time to wake up. If you don't right now, you will get late. And if you wake up late, you are not able to do anything the entire day. So yes, it's going to be a high time for each and every team. And as you were discussing about three different maps, it's going to be these teams facing Miramar, the biggest map, then going to Senok, the smallest map, and then playing a classic map of Erangel. Such a transition. I mean,
Exactly.
the battlefield is already intense, and right now the productions and everybody has decided to make it more and more intense with the transition they have put from going to a biggest map to a smallest map. And why do I say that it is difficult is because the map of Miramar is something that you get a complete open area to play around with, the rich gameplay, the height advantages, the n number of buildings, compounds,
The
every.
dunes,
Right, exactly. The most important is the dunes. But in the
and
map of
then the vehicle
Sinnoh,
blast. Let's not
oh,
forget
oh
how
my
that
God.
was.
Oh my God. Every time, I mean, a while ago when me and Sam were on test for the previous map of Miramar, we eventually were like, please don't be doing that to yourself again. But yes, it is a fun factor for us as a caster, for audience. But the player going down, man, oh man, I really feel
Sad.
sad. Exactly. It's disheartening to see one player. He will be like, why is this vehicle causing a lot of problems in Miramar and not in Erangel?
Absolutely, because as you always spoke about, the dunes is going to make sure that you look a little unique. It's going to give you a lot of pixels out, but at the same time, if you have a bigger vehicle, you can't travel faster. So you have to either choose amongst these two. Use a smaller vehicle, travel faster to your location. If you're traveling late, obviously have a bigger vehicle so that you have a chance to hide behind it perfectly. But ultimately, we all know that the vehicle blast radius is bigger when it comes to the map of Miramar, not because of something else. It's because there is not much grass around you. Even if you lay down, the impact is just going to be on your face. The most important question where many people have asked me this is going to be when I'm boosted completely and my health is completely full, but still I get taken down. They do not see the bigger picture. When they're traveling in, there's going to be shot fired at them. They do not realize that in that heat, that one or two bullets would have actually tagged them and put their health down. And that is the reason why they get eliminated as soon as the vehicle blast occurs.
Vehicle blast is something that I do feel like please don't get a vehicle only in this map of Miramar, but eventually this is the biggest map and you need
Need
something
those.
to rotate, right? Rotations need to be
Absolutely.
really pinpoint precise in this map, and if you are a bit wrong in this thing of rotation, you eventually get clashed to one team, and that can work into your favor. Yes, it can, but what if it doesn't? You will lose everything that you just gathered for yourself. So this is a short thing that we always discuss about the map of Miramar, that this is going to happen, that is going to happen, but let's just have a quick look on what these players are all about. How are they preparing themselves? How excited are they for this upcoming map?
Absolutely. Team EXO on the other side is taking a chill. They know that, a little bit of a hard work is already being done by them. So they'll be looking forward for a very unique gameplay. Velocity on the other side. Nobody wants to show their faces on cam. Probably they're strategizing away. Team Forever, the lone man who did a little bit of a hard work for the team, is pretty much, wanting and analyzing things. He's speaking to his friends. TSM on the other side, they know this is their home ground kind of a map. So they'll be looking forward to go in and attack and do their best and, probably execute as many kills as possible. And these two players on our screens, they are also capable of something huge. Team Nuggets on the other side, the distance has been a little huge for them. Chemin also pretty much in the same boot camp. Orangutan, the team to bounce back, the team which can show us that, they are capable of something huge on our screens at this point of time. Let's see whether they'll be able to do it.
I do have multiple questions right now, but with this, the fly path is all set to your screens, and so is Raider to join back the English desk. So before I go, I really wish for the first time to see the zone in the areas of Los Leones. Well, I don't know if that is going to happen or no, but Raider, over to you. What do you think is going to happen next?
Oh, I guess a lost unit zone could be there right now. It's going to be very interesting to watch that how these teams are going to defend themselves because the zone shift, the hard shifts which are going to be there, the vehicle tumbling which are going to be there, the car 98 shots, the DMR, the mid-range shots which are going to be there are very interesting at this point. But look at that. We already have a clash coming up in LSS compound right now. So I guess there could be a good decimation on that point.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been missing you, my friend, on the desk because there was so much to speak about when it comes to analysis. Darshita did do an amazing job, trying to get us through every fight. Every bullet was shown, every bullet was poured. She was there to make sure about it. But analysis was something I'm missing, and I do look forward to do that with you as we step into the map of Miramar. Early skirmishes coming in over here. OGs versus Team Nuggets. It looks like this is the time where Team OGs might be the team to look out for because ultimately they are pretty much in close proximity to one another. Even if a player gets taken on, then they can easily push in. But whereas Nuggets on the other side, players are inside one compound and they will have to maintain their distance or else they might get taken down with one good grenade.
Oh, of course, these small grenades can do a huge number of damage onto you, and that is something they have to work on. Look at that. Nugget is already cooking a nade, if I'm not wrong, and Pro OP is just trying to decimate the area, but there we go. He cancelled the nade because he knows the position has been shifted. I guess that cooking sound can actually alert you a lot, and that is why I guess Nugget is uncooking the nade, and there we go. Another nade is going to get cooked. I guess he's just trying to go for that and going for that charm at this point. Yeah, there we go. The nade was there, but Believe is going to survive from that nade, but eventually a Nugget has been tagged out from Team Orangutan at this point. It's going to be very interesting to watch how these two teams are going to retaliate. Well, Team Nugget at this point is just trying to be on the open edges. We have Anustopi and Badsha coming from the southern corner. If I talk about Team Orangutan, well, Believe is pretty much stuck at this point, but there we go. Some smokes are there for the retaliation and I guess for the rehabilitation at this point. But eventually, if I talk about Team Nuggets, Pro people, look at that. He's just trying to decimate at this point. He's just trying to provide some good sprays of UMP 45, but eventually the connections are not there, which are required in the lobby. But there we go. And his 2 OP, meanwhile, has been picked off, and the first ever elimination, the first pick of this lobby has been into the hands of OG Pehchan Khan, and he manages to put Team Nuggets on his 2 OP. And at this point, I guess a shiver, a sense of fear has been driven into the minds of Team Nugget.
Absolutely. Now we have to see whether Nuggets will be looking forward for an assault against the side of Team OGs, because there was a point where I saw that Pro OP was sitting on the top of the building. Now he could have struck with the player who's right below him, and I don't know why he's still not able to pinpoint the location of Believer and give an opportunity for his teammate to go in for a strike. So there could be a bit of an exchange at this point of time, but ultimately that's going to help them out. Rigger from far away is actually holding the right angle, so in case Pro comes in to the open, tries to take him out, that is when that could cause him a problem. But all these things said and done, Bacha from far away can also be the key player from the side of Team Nuggets. Even though Anuj has been taken down, I don't know whether these players are going to still fight it out. I think it's better if they push away from one another, get the right kind of farming before a third party comes in and goes and decimates both of them because of their lack of resources. But for now, GodL, this is the team which has to wake up and pick up some points, because if they get suppressed a little more, then no matter how strong they fight back, they might get taken down and they might not come into the top 10.
Oh, indeed. This is something they are going to work on, and it's just day number 2 right now. It's going to be match number 4. I guess we have been past 9 matches, and I guess a lot of experience, a lot of fight, a lot of, let's say, gain has been there for Team GodL. Let's see what eventually Team GodL does. The Gil, Neo, OK, and Pushparaj plus God is going to be there for you guys to see. And eventually, if I talk about the whole looting scenario, well, that's going on at this point. The team is trying to loot, but there we go. Carnage is there. A 1v1 fight was there. That was interesting. He tried to do a drop shot coming up, but eventually he was tagged out. And Nugget also going to flee from the scene right now, but Nugget is going to get tagged a lot. Look at that. Ash has been picked up. Oh, that was interesting. That was a good one, but eventually Team Orangutan managed to put it down, and I guess Billy was the one who actually put the final lane into the coffin, and with that, Team Nugget becomes the first ever team of the map of Miramar, which actually got eliminated. Well, that's a sad sight to watch eventually for Team Nugget.
Absolutely. Now, the most important thing for us to observe is this. Team Nugget had a very good fighting chance. We really thought that Team OGs won't be able to do it, and the circle will have a different story to say. It's going to take a northeastern step for the first time. The zone which I was expecting, to come, so that in that open fields we can expect some dunes is the only thing for players to cover, and at the same time go in for an assault. Godlike on the other side is going towards the side of water treatment, where they encounter the side of Team Enigma. They know the location of Enigma at this point of time. They're not going to, go in blank and try to attack them at this point of time, because 3 players are in one vehicle, and so is one last player far away, and that one man is going to be the side that is going to be Pushparaj. He has to come and regroup with his team and then only take that assault, and that's the only way for GodL to survive until the end. If man advantage is there with this team in the final 2 circles, they can do wonders.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course, that could be the case at this point. I guess my mic was glitched at that point, but eventually, I guess I had to shout a lot for this team right now, because Team Enigma, what a wonder they did eventually in the map of Miramar. It's going to be very interesting watch, but we have a question coming up, Arka, I guess. Do you think the new team Soul in future is capable of winning major tournaments? Yes, indeed. I guess that is the new team. I guess that is why the new team has been made. I guess that is going to be the goal for the team, because the kind of decimation they are trying to put forward, it's interesting to watch. But eventually, one thing they are lacking at this point, and that is placement points. So let's see how they are going to work on it, because eventually, I guess this is the first ever major tournament which they are playing after the formation of new lineup. So I guess
Exactly.
there are going to be some good strategies coming up after this tournament, or in this tournament coming up right now, because their analyst, their coach, they are going to learn some good strategies. They are going to learn some good pros and cons of this team, and the synergy will be maintained in between these guys, because yeah, this team could do wonders at this point. Yeah, I believe in that, and I guess you should too.
Absolutely. Now, one more important point for any viewer to observe is going to be this. So, Team Soul might look new, but they have really good players. They have very good experienced players in the boot camp itself. Let's not forget Viper. Let's not forget Mortal. What kind of inputs they can actually give in. Those experienced mind can actually allow them to spread their wings in this game and try to understand more about the game, and due to which they'll be able to perform much better. For those who believe, those who think, or those who question the capabilities of Soul, just imagine they made it into the finals of a tournament, an open tournament over here, and they're fighting it out, even if it's their first ever big tournament. And if they're making it to the final from the get-go with a little more of experience, I think they'll be the champions of many more to come.
Indeed, indeed. They have the experience, but I guess the synergy which they are lacking at this point will be there for you guys for sure. And that is why I guess we all believe at this point that they can win some good major tournaments. But before that, let's talk about this one, this match, the map of Miramar. Well, the first zone is already shrinking at this point, and we are seeing Team Forever for the rotations. Well, they were looting the compounds of La Cobreria, but I guess Asa and El Patron is also going to get contested by Team TSM. Well, I guess Arka, day number 1 for Team TSM was not that good, but yeah, day number 2 surely but shortly is getting interesting for Team TSM because after the whole decimation point coming up, I believe Team TSM is bouncing back very soon.
Yeah, because TSM had to come into the flow, right? So this is one team which needs time to adapt, and once they adapt, they become that leech who can suck out blood from every other team. So I do believe that they took time to adapt, and at this point of time, once they've adapted, once the the assaulters are doing the job, once the support is doing the job, I believe that they can get much better as the tournament is going to pass by. But all these things said and done, let's not forget that TSM's capability of again becoming the next champions. In the previous one, we saw how they were able to dominate throughout the tournament, and they were able to put down players which we least expected they could. Solo players were able to clutch out 1v2, and that is where TSM is standing today.
Oh, of course, it's gonna be interesting to watch that how the retaliation is gonna be there for this team. But meanwhile, Team GodL is between a battle with Team Enigma, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, there we go. Enigma G2OP with a good kind 98. I guess the shots are going to connect very soon, and he is looking forward to do that kind of damage. But yeah, he is also damaged, so that is why going to duck down and just heal himself, patch himself eventually, get some good boosters onto his body, and eventually retaliate in the battle. So let's see what eventually happens to the fights. Evo Italy trying to scout more and more locations. If I talk about Avi, well, he has M416, and I guess AK was the gun combination which he was trying to put forward. But yeah, they have Buggy. The best vehicle which you can get in the map of Miramar is here right now, but I guess you can't trust anything in the map of Miramar. Any vehicle can't be trusted just because of the dunes. But I guess the most reliable vehicle for the map in compared to all the other vehicles you get is going to be Buggy. So I guess that is why all the other teams are trying to choose for it. But I guess Arka, something Buggy lacks is a good cover.
Absolutely. Now, every vehicle has its own advantages and disadvantages. So, buggy is one thing which doesn't topple off in the map of Miramar. The second most important thing is that buggy is the fastest moving vehicle when it comes to the map of Miramar. The third most important thing is that you can easily jiggle around in a buggy if shots are being dealt against you. But at this point of time, GodL seems like, they have been dealt with something which they cannot eat about. It's going to be GodL getting taken down. TSM is trying to push in at this point of time. This is a very open field, I would like to say. And if anybody comes in at this point of time as a third party, they can easily decimate either of these two squads. TSM on the other side have a better angle, and that's why they're trying to decimate the squad of Team Godlike. But Gil at this point of time, very vulnerable position. I just hope he gets back on his feet and he can run back, or else GodL might lose a player any second soon.
Gil is not going to survive at this point. He was very open-ended, and Team TSM found a very great open area. But now look at that. Aquanox and the other guy is going to be on the verge of that gas tank. And if I talk about Pushparaj, well, he is just trying to lay and trying to get a hair ridge at this point. But that is going to be a major thing to watch eventually. If I talk about Team 7 Esports, last two matches were not that good for the team. Eventually, they got a winner and chicken on the day number 1, but day number 2 is not getting that good for them. But yeah, Soul Goblin. Oh, too much third party is coming up. Look at that right now. Team Soul heading out into the battle with Team TSM. Team TSM going out with Team GodL. GodL going out with Team 7C. Well, we have a lot of active fights coming up at this point. It's just the second zone. It's just the start of the second zone, and we all have a lot of fight coming up. Look at that. Team TSM meanwhile getting one good finish into their perspective. That's interesting. Shadow OG is going to get that revival shortly, but I guess Blaze OP could be contested at this point. Let's see, is it going to be the case right now? A contestment could be there or not. That is going to be the major concern to watch. But eventually Team Soul is at a very back end area, and I guess GodL is the only team which is more than capable at this point, and more than near to put a fight with Team TSM.
But GodL is holding back. I think this is a very good thing for them to do. Just hold back, relax. Do not go in for an unwanted fight, because when you step in for an unwanted fight and you lose one of your key players, it's the end of the story for the side of GodL. Now, the northern shift, the zone going into the northern side, this is which I love the most. Just imagine, we can see dunes, we can see high ridges over there, we can see mountains on top of which they can stay, and it's very, very wide circle as well. So all the teams have space inside the circle. Now the next circle is when the point of concern is going to rise for all these teams. In case it fall towards the side of fields, that is when they want to go in for a quick rotation, take that high ground, or else it's going to be hard for anybody below that, as we have seen that happen before in the semifinals itself.
Yeah, we have seen the kind of decimation these teams are trying to put forward, but here we go. TSM Blaze OP with the good mini 14 shots coming up right now. I guess the teams are not preferring Carnated at this point because the reload and the, let's say, the recoil, the jump, which actually gets you with a bullet action shotgun, below bullet action gun, is a bolt action gun, sorry to be exact, is very tiring for you. But eventually, if you choose guns like Mini 14, the DMR guns, Mini 14, SKS, SLR, well, these are few of those guns which can actually get you a good runner-up shot, a backup shot for you guys. And yeah, there we go. Blaze OP once again trying to find the pixels. CES, Chemin Esports Delta PG is giving that pixels, but eventually he decides to go in the compound. That's a great thing for him. He's going to survive for the longer fight, but yeah, still the damage has been done. I guess teams know now that they are getting contested, and that is why they have to be alert, because a slamming could be there. They are at a compound, and that is why I guess the teams are going to choose for a hardcore compound, but they also have a higher edge. So it is going to help them a lot. But meanwhile, Team Celsius is getting contested by the hands of Team Skylightz Gaming. The last winner chicken dinner is going to get their hopes up. But let's see, are they going to keep it up or not? That's going to be the major thing.
Absolutely. Skylightz Gaming on the other side have picked up a finish, and they're going to be looting him as well as they push into the circle. Now we know that, Skylightz Gaming is one of the strongest team in the previous game. The kind of kills they have, the kind of finishes they've secured, like 16 to 17 is what they could gain, and they've done an amazing job. So now placement points is something they can play when it comes to the map of Miramar, since the heavy lifting is already been done. I just hope that they do not find anybody in the clash rotations and eventually get decimated. 8-bit Juicy on the other side does see the side of Team VLT, but they're taunting at the right time because the gatekeeping is from the side of VLT and not from the side of 8-bit. So in case they choose to run away from this position, a high chance that VLT will be able to, put down the side of Team 8-bit.
It's going to be interesting to watch that how the retaliation will be there. But Team Velocity, last few matches for this team is going to be interesting because they are going to get some good placement point eventually, and their aggression is also good. But I guess the map of Erangel was not that into their favor because Chemin Esports was able to take them down. But eventually, I guess this map could be the map of redemption where they could get some good points into their favor. If I talk about Team Mayavi, well, there we go. We are going to see Dark Joker 09, Admino, and Mania is going to be the contestant. Is going to be the whole squad roster going to fight it out. But let's see how Team Enigma is going to retaliate because a good mini 14 shot. Oh, that's MK14. That's interesting. I've never seen, let's say, in a compy match in Sky Sports so frequently that a guy chooses for MP14 because the kind of recoil which this gun has, it's interesting to watch. But eventually, if you are in a close range, this gun goes on auto and just goes on guns racing, and the squad just falls down eventually in front of MK14.
Absolutely. Now, the most important point for you to see is that when it comes to a close range battle, we have seen it's important for you to have guns. One, obviously, to maintain your recoil. The other one, obviously, to make sure it has the high damage. I know MK14 will have that capability, but due to the lack of extended when it comes to a game, or in case even you do have an extended, it's not going to be easy for you to go in for a close range battle. You miss 3 or 4 shots, then you will be coming into reload, and that is when the opponents can strike against you. But all these things said and done, Enigma is still going for that throwable, battle against the side of Team Mayavi at this point of time. A good grenade was already being cooked by the side of Joker. I don't think so it would have done much of damage, but these two teams have to realize this. They're far away from the zone, so all they have to do is forget all those things, get inside the side of Petron, and that is when they'll have a fighting chance. VLT have a very good location as of now. So does the side of Team OGs. So let's see which is the next team to challenge these high grounds, because ultimately that is where the fight lies.
Oh, the fights, decimation, the carnage which is there in the lobby. It's just really very interesting at this point. If we talk about Evo Italy, well, there we go. He goes for the heal. Sagi has been picked up, but there is a contestment coming up. Let's see what eventually happens. QI goes for a low toss node, but that is not going to get a connection. He has been picked off, and Team Enigma is also getting contested at this point. Look at that. HE2OP and Evo Italy is going to be the last two man standing for the team right now. He is trying to find some pixels, but I guess Enigma... Oh, the Molotov cocktail. That was a great strategy coming from this angle. HE2OP is going to go down for sure. Italy is just trying to put some smokes, but eventually look at the molly here right now. He's just getting aware. He's just getting safe at this point, but eventually the contestment, the fight, the retaliation, it's interesting to watch because from the back end, we also have Team Mayavi pushing in. Oh, the random space by Nexus. Nexus was just trying to put the space into the corner. He wasn't able to spot Nexus just because the area, the, let's say, gate was blocked down due to the smoke, and eventually they have been picked off. If I talk about Team GodL, well, they are coming back onto the same location where Gil has said goodbye in the hands of Team TSM. Well, there we go. TSM, Blaze OP, Ninja Jordan, Equinox is going to be the 3-man remaining for the team. But eventually, if I talk about GodL, they also have 3-man remaining. I guess that could be an equalizer fight coming from them. Oh, Oh, we have one more guy, but he is in the zone. That's interesting. But now the contestment is there. Dark could be picked up anytime soon. The
Oh,
retention
nice.
that was interesting one by the hands of Ninja Jord, and there is no survival chance for the guy. Another guy is coming up. Let's see Team Mayavi can do it or not. Well, that rotation will be successful, and that is why I guess we say buggy is safe for one, but another one on the buggy is gonna go.
Absolutely. Now, Ginger Jord, the way he was able to spray that down, Jord it is. It was very,
Interesting,
very
man.
good with that 4x on his belly. I mean, he was able to do wonders over there, and he has done the right kind of damage towards the side of Team Mayavi. Now, through the pixels, we all know what TSM is capable of doing. Now, I know that Shadow will also try to, take down as many players as possible. There is Joker already got taken down. One more player, probably Blaze or somebody, can actually push in towards the side of Team Mayavi and then eliminate completely, as GodL is also trying to move around. TSM is picking up fights every look and corner, and this could be the point of concern for them, because ultimately if everybody starts to concentrate their firepower against the side of TSM and they lose one or two players, that is when things cannot go in their way. Ninja Jot still continues to spray with that 4x. It's absolute crisp, to see that such a player coming in. GodL on the other side. It's Neo gets taken down. Ninja Jot turns around, confirms him as well. Ninja Jot gets taken down. It's gonna be GodL Pushparaj. That's Johnny doing the job. He's making sure to take down the strongest player so that they have a fighting chance. 2 men alive for the side of team GodL. Let's see whether they'll be able to do wonders.
Oh, they will. They are trying hard at this point, but look at that. Blaze OP is just trying to survive,
Oh,
but no.
nice.
Clutch God manages to put him down with a beautiful M44X spray. That was an interesting one to watch, but if we talk about Equinox, well, he's going to be the last man standing of his team. He's trying to retaliate a lot. Push Paraj has been spotted, and Nexus from Team Forever manages to say hi to Team TSM, but eventually Team TSM has been picked off. Push Paraj is not going to survive just because the zone damage which is going to get, but yeah, Mashkash from Team Forever manages to put him down also. Team Forever, meanwhile, sneakily securing some good finishes into their favor. If I talk about Team Soul, well, they have managed to be in the 5th zone. They have got a good grasp of the lobby, but eventually, let's see Team Soul can bounce back. Well, a good winner chicken dinner should be there for Team Soul at this point. They have got a hardcore compound, but that's a Western edge. It could be a very great contestment for them. But look at that, we have a lot of team in the northern corner. They have to be in the zone, but if I talk about the southern corner, 7 Seas, Skylightz Gaming, and Team VLT are way out of the zone. And if I talk about Team Celsius, once again, they managed to find the zone. I don't know what these guys are trying to do, but yeah, it is really very interesting that how they manage to be in the zone every time, and that zone position gets them a good winner chicken in a closer area.
Absolutely. And the final 4 to 5 kill points which they're able to secure. But at the same time, let's not forget what happened to the fate of Team TSM. They picked up fight between 2-3 teams, and ultimately all of them concentrated their firepower, due to which TSM had to say goodbye. OGs from the other corner is also going to get eliminated, thanks to the side of probably the side of Skylightz Gaming, who landed the final blow. Chemin Esports at this point of time is getting the wrath of Entity, as throwables have been thrown against them. Clutch God on the other side from outside the circle. I don't know why is he choosing to give up this location. I think he's got a suppressor. Yes, he's got the suppressor, due to which, he's able to do some wonders. Entity Troy on the other side. He's got some tech coming in from the side of Team EXO. Chemin on the other side. All 3 men are on their feet, and it's important for the one last player to do wonders over here. Entity still trying to push in. That Papa is still doing his best. He's away from those vehicles, so he has an opportunity to take on the side of Dark Lord, and if he does it, now that gives an opportunity for the side of Team Papa to actually do wonders over here. I don't think so it's going to be possible, as 3 different angles is what Team Entity has covered him, and any second soon we can expect him to say goodbye from the lobby.
Indeed. But he's trying to retaliate at his bet at this point. Look at that. Dark Lord is trying to push in. The zone is also going to get that contestment. He's just trying to find out the gaps, the pixels, which are required at this point, but he doesn't have any kind of first aid. He's going for Dark Lord. He manages to put him down. He was trying to finish him up, but then eventually Troy was the one who says hi to him. Eventually, the fight is over for the team. But now, if we talk about Team Mayavi, they have managed to get 3 frags into their perspective. Losing Joker and Dark is going to get them into a lot of trouble. But if we talk about Team Entity, they are just trying to be in the zone, but they are going to get surely but shortly contested by the hands of Team Mayavi. Maniac puts down. Mania has been taken down. GodL Clutch God, meanwhile, remaining the last man standing of his team. Oh, look at the placement of Team EXO at this moment. Snacks and the other guys are trying to find their good location, but Soul looking strong with 2 good frags, 4-man power. Skylightz Gaming with also the same condition. VLT also maintaining the same postulation, but look at the peak and fire coming up from this angle. GodL Clutch God, meanwhile, remaining the last man standing. He has been spotted. He's gonna go down for sure. He is trying to jiggle it out, but let's see. Oh, Celsius with a good, brutal M4 section spray manages to put down. Now the battle is between 6 of the 6 best teams.
Nice! I mean, Pew Pew on the other side is actually doing wonders with his gun. Quick scope coming in from his side, and then I really don't know how he's able to, do that spray. I mean,
Yeah.
pinpoint spray. It looks like he's playing with a red dot rather from than a side of rather than a 3x scope. But all these things said and done, I really love the way Forever was able to put up that smoke first and then come into the circle. VLT on the other side, Slayer has got taken down. They know that there's a team pretty much close to them, but the only team inside the circle right now is going to be Team EXO. Place themselves absolutely perfect. Now they have a very good opportunity to take this home. But all these things said and done, Celsius on the other side, on the top of the table, want to do wonders. Daljit on the other side sees Ray, goes in for a spray and comes in at the perfect time to land that final bullet against him. Ray gets taken down now. Daljit has to heal himself before he goes in for a battle, or else he might get taken down. Goes in for a heal. Juicy on the other side is going to revive one of his teammates. A push coming in from the side of Kratos can actually do the damage against the side of Team 8-bit. Juicy goes in, comes in from the other angle. It's going to be Kratos on fire as well. Can this man do wonders as fire the zone as well as Juicy comes in closer? He was able to survive that. Now on the other side is Madman, who's coming into his crosses. He eliminates him as well with less than 10 HP, I believe, and that is how Kratos is able to survive this. Now Daljit on the other side, because of the zone, if he makes it inside, there's a chance for him to survive.
I mean, that fight was really very good. Eventually, if I talk about Team 8-bit, Madman was the last one standing. He was trying to retaliate. He manages to put Atanki down, but eventually he never saw the other guy with 10 HP coming from the back end area, and that is why I guess the last one standing from Team VLT manages to put him down. But yeah, VLT is on fire at this point. Kratos was the one who actually put down 8-bit Madman, but that was the kind of intensity which was going on in the lobby that Team 8-bit Madman never expected that there is some other guy left from the back end area. But now the fight is into the hands of Team Soul at this point. They are actually